Thought Warriors, what is up? Our learning is on. It's Ivan Lathan Jr.
And it's me, Rachel and Lindsay.
What'd you do this weekend?
I had probably one of the laziest weekends
That's good.
I have had in a really long time, and it felt really good. I went out at night, but like during the day, I was just peaceful. Friday night, I saw the Womack sisters. Fantastic. They're Sam Cooke's granddaughters with Al Green.
Al Green.
So much fun.
Wow.
Such a great show.
You like his music?
Al Green?
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
I'm just making sure. You never.
I'm a big
like,
Al. I actually forgot that I knew that many Al. I knew every song he sang.
he's
Every single song. And actually, he had a new album come out earlier this year that I forgot that we listened to too. I'm a bigger fan than I even realized. But it's like, these are legends. You have to go see them while you can.
Yeah, while you
Got
can.
the tickets the day of. Highly suggest getting tickets at the last minute. I mean, the prices were slashed tremendously. Great seats. Really good time. Up out of my seat dancing. Went out.
Shouldn't
Friday
Al
night.
Green have dropped an album at this point just called Grits?
He is so far removed from that. If you had said that 30, 40 years ago, fine.
This is one of the.
You cannot.
What?
He is 80 years old.
So what? When he was.
This would probably turn him to a pastor.
I'm saying
pastor
just an
after this.
album called Grits.
Jay, do you know what that means? What he's talking about?
No.
Oh, this is very interesting.
I knew
Hold on
she
for a
wasn't gonna
second.
know.
Jade,
Marco?
Bernard, Marco, do you guys know Marco's in here? Do you guys know what we're talking about when we say Grits and Al Green? Don't Google it.
No.
Bernard?
Okay.
No, I already Googled it, but
Yeah.
now I'm saying
Yeah, you already Googled it, but you
Bernard,
didn't
you
know.
cheat.
Marco, did you know? No. So this is it. These are the recipes that I'm talking about.
No pun intended.
These are the recipes. Hold on for a second. What young person can I call?
Ask Jomi.
Let's ask Jomi. I know this nigga Jomi don't know. Like, let's ask Jomi. So we're asking right
It
now
wasn't common knowledge.
if you say Grits
And Al Green.
and Al Green. First of all, will Jomi know who Al Green is?
Still,
He has
Will
to know
Jomi
who
know
Al
who
can't
Al
take
Green
two
is.
L's in a row on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah, this is Jomi's coming up in the world. Jomi's one of the best podcasters at this company. Will Jomi know? Answer the phone, Jomi. Will Jomi
He
know
knows
who
what
Al
happened
Green
last
is?
episode. He's like, I'm not doing it again.
Maybe we should try Charles.
Charles
would know.
Charles
is
will
gonna
know about Al
Charles is
Green's
gonna
and
know.
and I don't know if Charles is gonna know.
Ask
Charles
Steve.
would
Let's call
100%
Steve.
know.
Now Steve definitely not gonna know. Steve don't know what grits are.
Let's call Steve. I like that one better. Charles is gonna know.
I promise you, I don't think Charles is gonna know. I really do not think
This is what
Charles is
we
going
really
to know.
need a higher learning Midnight Boys
Crossover. Let's see.
because we are always calling in.
The Midnight Boys
On
are
the
asleep.
boys.
Let's see if Charles knows about the Al Green grits thing. They're not gonna pick up the. Here it is, right here. Picking up.
Yo, what up, man?
Hey, what up? You're live on Higher Learning right now.
Hey Charles.
Oh, shit. Okay.
He's immediate regrets. Immediate regrets.
All right, Charles. If I say Al Green and grits, do you know what I'm talking about?
Al Green and grits?
Yeah.
Not the throne of the grits, right?
Boom!
We said Charles would know. We said
Charles knew. Charles knew. That gives me. Okay, Charles,
We
I'm
knew
not gonna
Charles
believe.
would know.
I'm not gonna bullshit you, Charles. I wasn't sure. Jay don't know. Bernard don't know. Marco don't know. I wasn't sure that you would know. Now you are a music
I
journalist.
did believe in him though.
Well, they don't know about the story?
No, they don't know about it, Chuck.
How old is Charles?
But he a music journalist though. He's one of the most
We use the
knowledgeable.
recipes. This
There
is
you
the
go,
problem.
Charles. Talk your shit. Talk your shit. They don't know
Oh,
about the
come
story.
on, bruh.
Charles is I
The
think like 30.
elders are weeping in their graves.
Charles,
bruh.
what you-
Y'all gotta do better.
Charles, what you 32?
I'm 33.
33.
Oh, then that doesn't surprise. We need a Gen Zer.
I mean,
No, race. No.
Yeah.
Race.
you supposed to know.
Uh-uh.
You supposed to know.
Come
Jay,
on.
this is Jay. How old are you, Jay? Oh,
Oh yeah, that's
Marco
right.
in his 40s.
I'm
But Marco, you look like you're living La Vida Loca. What's your
Hey.
background?
I'm Guatemalan.
Guatemalan, yeah. Marco.
I love Al Green. I just didn't know the.
The
Yeah.
grit story.
You know what, Marco? You know what you should say? You should be like, yo, nigga, what's up with? Well, don't say that. But you should say like, yo, what Guatemalan shit do you know? Do you know about Guatemala? And then like just drop your culture in there. Everybody should weaponize their culture. But
Weaponized.
Charles knew. You know what we're gonna do? This is what we're gonna do. We're not calling Jomi back. We're gonna do this. When are we recording again this week? I never know. I never know. When are we recording? Chuck.
Wait, what? Oh, you asking me? I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
when
I
are-
was like,
when-
higher learning? Oh, we recording tomorrow, Tuesday.
Tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yeah,
Okay,
tomorrow.
nice. Okay, nice. No. Charles is the leader of the Midnight Boys. So
No,
shut up. So you are.
You
So
guys have great recording.
yeah, no. Hey, before you leave, we're gonna
what's up?
we're gonna ask Jomi and Steve tomorrow about Al Green and the Grits.
And the grits.
Jomi be listening to Camp Rock and the Jonas Brothers. He don't know no Al Green, bro.
That's
Like, why you
hilarious.
saying stuff like that?
Damn, Charles.
All right, Chuck. All right, bro. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow, man. That's interesting. So it was a good concert, though.
It was a good concert. So basically, Al Green, I don't know if it was his wife, but definitely his partner, somebody he was dating,
This is his girlfriend.
got mad at him, threw grits in his face. Okay, burned him.
I think he was in the bath. I think he was in the bath or in the bed. She threw grits on him.
He definitely wasn't in the kitchen.
Yeah,
We know that.
She threw. So back in
She
the
threw
day,
hot grits in his face.
back in the day, like men were assaulted. Okay, by Jade.
Valid.
No.
Valid.
It
Valid.
wasn't. You
It
didn't
was
act like it
valid.
was
It's
valid.
valid.
That's
You're
assault.
valid. No, it's valid.
That's assault.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
sometimes women would get angry. Actually, if we knew the backstory, you might even. But anyway, sometimes they would do hot grits on your back or scalding hot water on you or something like
He
that.
was bathing.
He was bathing.
Severe 2nd and 3rd degree burns on his back, arms, and stomach.
Yeah, that happened to Al Green. But that is something that, like,
Oh my God, I didn't know the other part of it.
what?
After she did it, she committed suicide.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that
Yeah.
part of it.
So, but in the 80s, and I'm not gonna go through all of these stories, guys, because these stories are harrowing. In the 80s, when you would learn about these people, you would learn about Marvin Gaye, you would learn about Al Green, you would learn about Teddy Pendergrass, you would learn about these people. There was almost always, a terrible story that would come along with the music. And one time, I asked my mom, I was like, well, yeah, my mother was talking about James Brown, and I was like, oh, well, James Brown don't have one of them crazy ass stories like a lot of these other guys goes. And she goes, no, he has too many. We're
He's
not sure
one of
which.
the worst.
Yeah. So, but it was a different time. And this would be a part of the lore of these
Yeah.
people. Part of the lore.
So he became a pastor a
Mhm.
couple of years later. Concert was fantastic. I didn't even realize he was 80 years old. So yeah, did that. Went out, Desert 5, had a good time. Saturday, hung out with Layla, our girl Layla.
Yeah, shout out
at
to
night.
Layla.
Went to living room. And then that was it. It was a
Mm.
chill weekend for me. What about you?
Hanging around. Had one of the most interesting, creepy dreams I've ever had before.
I had weird dreams this weekend too. Did you get more sleep? Do you find that your dreams happen when you get more sleep or less sleep?
I think more, because I have to
Same.
be like deep REM.
Same. And now I got a lot of sleep. Okay,
REM,
what
REM.
was the dream?
Man, this is one of them ones, man. This is one of those dreams. This is one where I want to get opinions on this dream.
I really want you to write your dreams down.
Like, I wrote this one down.
Okay.
I want opinions on this dream from the dream people. Okay, so I was looking for my father, right? I'm in Baton Rouge. I'm looking for my father, legitimately looking for my father. I'm looking around. I'm looking for my dad. And I go inside of this building.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go inside this building, it's a club. People are in there having fun and stuff like that. And it feels like a Baton Rouge club. The dreams are interesting to me because you'll go inside of the dream and you will feel how you felt at a specific time.
Mm-hmm.
So this club felt like nightlife or rags or upscale, like these places that I used to know and go to in Baton Rouge. Like, it felt like that inside of there, except for one thing. Inside of the dream, it was cool. There's lots of stuff in there, but there was a swamp inside of the dream. And there was a wooden, like, bridgeway, sort of like breezeway type of situation.
Okay.
Like when you're in Ramey, when you're at the levee at Ramey, the levee is up like that, and then there's a road built on the top of the levee.
Mhm.
And so you drive on the top of the levee, you drive down the levee to fish, you drive over that road, but there's all kinds of stuff that we've made to be able to get to Ramey and be able to fish and stuff like that. It felt like that, but this was something that people were walking along.
Okay.
And when they were walking along it, I was like, hey, y'all need to stop. Like the swamp is dangerous. The bayou is dangerous. Like something will jump out of there and get you. Even the mosquitoes here. Like it's dangerous. And I'm looking at people and I'm like, y'all should stop doing that. Like the alligators are in there, snakes are in there. You might even get in a little tussle with a nutria rat. Like
What?
A nutria rat.
What is that?
So a nutria rat is
As opposed to a regular rat.
well, this is like a beaver.
Oh.
So it looks like it's basically a gigantic rodent, but it's a
don't even
beaver
believe
with a rat tail.
Horrifying.
It's a nutria.
It sounds like a mutant, but keep going.
And they live in
The swamp.
they
bayou.
live in Ramey.
Okay.
You see them swimming around. They live in Ramey. Nutria rat. We might have tried to eat one time.
Keep going.
We might have just saw what a nutria tastes like. It's like, hey, let's see what he tastes like.
And was it good?
No, can't do
I
it.
wouldn't
Some
think
people
so.
like it, but like we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. Okay, so there's all kinds of stuff in the bayou, and people are like walking around in there and stuff like that. They're walking around in it, but they don't give a fuck about how dangerous it is in there. Then the player proof shows up. Ian, Ryan, Gino, they all show up. Ian, Ryan, Gino. Like for some reason, Bryant wasn't there. Bryant was too smart. So the player proof shows up, and the player proof shows up. We start having fun. Start ordering drinks. Like these are the best drinks ever. We're ordering drinks. We're having drinks. We're ordering the drinks. We're drinking them. We're having fun. We ask them for food, and they go, "You cannot fucking eat in here." And I was like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Okay." Like I asked them for food, but like they go, "You cannot fucking eat in this place. There's no food in here."
Okay.
And I'm like, "All right." I look around and I realize something, that my dad would never be in a place like this. So he's not in here. I know for sure, for certain that my father's not in here. But we're having fun, so we stay, right? Whatever. Then they start playing movies. And they're playing movies, and the movies, imagine that we're in this room, and the movies are playing on the walls all around us. The movies are playing on the wall all around us. And they play Tales from the Hood. Right?
Classic.
Now, the wraparound story in Tales from the Hood is terrifying. Shout out to Rusty Cundiff, right? The wraparound story in Tales from the Hood, terrifying. The wraparound story goes like this. 3 guys go to a mortuary. They go to a mortuary to make a drug deal. So when they're in the mortuary, the mortician is showing them different dead people and telling them their stories. And that's what makes the movie Tales from the Hood. Wraparound story is the story that takes place in the interstitials throughout the vignettes of a vignette horror movie. And it ends up being, at the end of it, like what resolves the film. Like in Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, the little guy is trying not to be eaten by this witch. And so he opens up the book, Tales from the Dark Side, and he starts telling her the stories out of the book. And that's what the movie is. Okay, cool. So at the end of this one, the reason why it's so scary is at the end of this one, you realize that the 3 guys that went into the mortuary are dead because the guy shows them themselves. They're dead. They died in the last story of the film. They died in it. The last story is this gangster dude who they think that they can rehabilitate him, blah, 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 whatever. And he's in a beef with these guys. These guys kill him, then the cops kill them. So I'm watching the movie, and we all know how the movie ends. And at the end of Tales from the Hood, what it turns out is that they are in hell. And the mortician says, played by Clarence Williams III, the mortician says, "This ain't no funeral home, niggas. Welcome to hell." And then the entire screen of the movie falls away, and it shows him he's turned into a demon now, and they are burning in hell. I remember this froze me in the theater. Everybody else left. I felt like this is almost the moment I became a man. I was so existentially paralyzed by the ending of that movie. This is playing in the club. I look around, that part happens. I look at Ian looks at me. I look at Ryan looks at me. I look at Gino looks at me, and then I go, "Nah." And Ryan goes, yeah. And I go, no way. And then I go, can we leave? And Ian goes, we got to try. So I go, yo, I'm going to close out. We're out of here. And the dude guarding the door goes, we'll see you again. And then we leave the club.
Oh, okay.
And like we leave the club. And we get outside and we get to the car, and the car is all blue, and it's a two-door, like a sports car. The car is an all blue two-door sports car. And there's not enough room for all of us to get into it. And Gino goes, fuck that. We'll sit in each other's laps, man. Let's go. And we get in there, and then we speed off. And then Ryan goes, your dad wasn't inside. And then I woke up. And so like I wake up and I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? Like legitimately, so I wrote the dream down. Like when the movie started playing, we're watching the movie and everybody's like watching it and looking back. It is like legitimately, I was there. I was inside, I was there. And then after it was over, it dawned on us. And then we didn't know if we could get out, but we could.
But you could.
Mm-hmm.
I had a different interpretation until you said that you were basically inside of the movie. But do you wonder about like afterlife and your dad?
Yeah.
You know? So I think
that's what the dream is about.
But what I was gonna say before that too was you were looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't find him, and then you get that part of the answer there. But I also thought what you could find was comfort in your friends.
My friends.
Your community,
Mm-hmm.
Baton Rouge,
Mm-hmm.
having a good time together, like the things that are your foundation, how you grew up. You know, like that's what gives you life. That's what keeps you going. That's what's meaningful to you.
You know what else was interesting? That I didn't recognize where I was until they showed up. Like I didn't realize like where I was or like what was going on until they got there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got there and the movie's on and all of that stuff. And then I recognized the danger of the place. I recognized that they wouldn't serve us any food. They wouldn't give us any nutrition. I recognized all of that stuff. I just thought this is the way it goes. But we had to all decide together that we were in some place that we didn't want to be. And then we left and it didn't matter how we escaped. That's the last group of people that's going to sit on each other's laps. But Gino was like, if we got to sit on each other's laps, let's just go.
But it didn't matter how you escaped. You escaped together.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the guy said, we'll see you back again.
And it's
that,
also
that part of it really, like, no, he actually didn't say that. He goes, okay, you guys, we left. He goes, y'all be back. They coming back in. Like, almost like a club bouncer does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He goes, like, they coming back in, and then we got out of there. Look, I wrote the whole thing down.
I believe you. You have very vivid dreams.
Yeah.
My dream was not like that, but
What was your dream? What'd you dream?
It was, I think, because of shrooms.
Oh shit.
The moon was all the colors. It was red and orange and yellow and purple, and it was so beautiful and so vivid, almost like I could touch it. And then it's like I saw it out of my window in the back of my house, in my bedroom. Then I went to the front of my house, and it didn't look anything like my house. It was like completely remodeled. It was like almost like a 2-story. I was watching on the balcony, and everyone was like, look at the sky. And the sky looked just like the moon. And it was like just beautiful, and everyone was like entranced and captivated. And then when I turned around, I was getting proposed to.
Oh, shit.
And like I was internally freaking out, but there was like no down on knee or ring, but I knew that what was happening behind me was a proposal. And then I woke up.
Wow, look at us.
No, it's not as intense as yours.
No, I mean, it is pretty intense.
So interpret my dream.
Okay. So the proposal is happening. So it's not your house. It was your house.
But the back was, the front wasn't.
The back was your house. The front wasn't.
Yeah, where I saw the sky, and like there were people there, and everybody was like looking towards the sky. And then I turned around, and that's where the proposal was.
So you had to leave your house to get proposed to, which says that you might have to leave your comfort zone.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You have to leave the place. Your subconscious is telling you you have to leave the place where you feel most familiar and whatever, You go out there. When you leave there, all of a sudden, what was the race of the guy that was proposing?
Black.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
It really was.
So you're actually, you know what? That's probably what it's about. You're getting out of that house where it was about racial situation. And you're going to the front of the beautiful moon and the African stars. That was probably like Kenya or some shit like that. And that's where it's going to happen. But you have to leave your comfort zone. I will never know what these fucking dreams are telling us. I just know that, like, I was scared and my friends came and I wasn't scared anymore.
Yeah. I like your dream.
I like your dream. It's good dreams. Like, I haven't had a dream that was worth talking about on here in a long time.
Same.
Yeah.
Shrooms, though?
Probably shrooms. Yeah, I've been shrooming it up. All right. Look, guys, we have to talk about a really, really sad story. And we're not going to be able to do anything but give you what happened. We're going to do it on the other side. Jade?
Yeah, some sad news. Hayden Panettiere has died at 36. The actress, her representative, confirmed on Sunday. She died in South Carolina, and the investigation into her death remains ongoing. Panettiere became a star at a young age, appearing in Remember the Titans before becoming best known for playing Claire Bennett on Heroes and Juliet Barnes on Nashville. She also appeared in Scream 4, Ice Princess, Raising Helena, and Bring It On, All or Nothing. Her death comes just months after the release of her memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, in which she opened up about her experiences with child stardom, addiction, and recovery, postpartum depression, trauma, abuse, and loss. Panettiere was also a mother of 11-year-old daughter Kaya, whom she shared with former fiance Vladimir Klitschko.
Yep. Wow, well done. Yeah, the former heavyweight champion of the world. They were in a pretty high-profile celebrity relationship throughout the 2010s. We covered it a lot on TMZ. Covered her a lot. She legitimately was one of those stars that you watch her entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Because Remember the Titans, she was so young, and she had a role that was pretty integral to the movie. And then she grew up, she became a woman, became a mother, and I don't know, just for some reason, when this popped up yesterday, it was pretty gutting.
Well, it's sad because towards the later years of her life, even really before that, you were hearing about how, she had a daughter, she was struggling with substance abuse, addiction, postpartum depression, and she ended up giving full custody of her daughter to the father for what's best for the daughter. I read she still had a relationship with the daughter, but she knew that she wasn't in a place where she could take care of her. And I think that, especially in this book and the interviews that I've seen after her memoir that came out earlier, or a couple of months ago, she talked about how postpartum depression, like what it is, how it needs to be talked about more. I think even when she revealed it 11 years ago, she talked about how there's not a lot of talk surrounding postpartum depression, and it varies. It can be light to what we're seeing right now in the trial of Lindsay Clancy. Yeah. And so that was a lot of the talk. And then, of course, with the relationship that she had on and off, and there was domestic violence involved with that as well. And so, you saw this struggle, which is why it was interesting when she decided to do her memoir, how open she was about what child stardom is like, what it does, what it did to her, the way that she was viewed. That's when the paparazzi was really strong, how she saw that she was looked at more as an object and rather than a person, how that kind of led to some of her struggles as well, dealing with the death of her brother, who she was really close to.
He died a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he died a few years ago. And then just seeing some of the things that she was saying in some of her last interviews about, she's finally understands where she is and she has more life to live, and she wants to live a life that's meaningful and purposeful. So to then go from that, some of those last conversations that we saw her have publicly, to this, it's so tragic. And she's 36 years old, and that's coming off the heels of Christy Knowings, Nickelodeon star who just passed away a few days before Hayden. Also, Michelle Trachtenberg, who we talked about here too, dying so young, dealing with abuse. That's not Christy's story. Christy died of an asthma attack that led to cardiac arrest, but still just these stars that we grew up with that shaped our childhood and what we know are passing away. And it's always tragic when it's young. It's always tragic when you know that they were struggling with so much. Yeah. It
You
was-
know, there's two groups of people that we don't seem to look into. I feel this way. I'm trying to figure out a way to put it that's respectful. I don't want to say no one cares, but it seems to be we accept the early deaths of wrestlers and child stars. Whenever you hear about like wrestlers, right, but like pro wrestlers, and dead at 55, dead at 51, dead in their 40s. Hey, there's a lot of painkillers, a lot of abuse on your body, all of that stuff that's involved in pro wrestling, and these guys die. And that's kind of the life. The child stars, we talk about it. We've had conversations about it, but there just seems to be an enormous price that is paid, you see so often, for people who got fame and stardom young. I don't know what happened here. Nobody knows yet. There's been almost no information to come out, right? But these outcomes for people who have been in the spotlight for a long time, it seems as if there's discussion about the fact that they have issues. There's discussions about the fact that like wrestlers have issues, but I don't know who's doing something about it. I mean, I know that there are a lot of different places out here in the town, but like who's protecting these children when they're out there working from like essentially being an adult at 11 years old?
I mean, a lot of times I feel like, I shouldn't say a lot of times, but sometimes when we tell these stories, it seems like the person who is, the person who's supposed to protect them is the one who's pushing it forward, right? They're the ones who, you have the term stage mom.
So we have an update real quick.
Okay.
She appears to have died from cardiac arrest following an apparent overdose.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And what I was saying is that the person who you think would protect you, your parent, a lot of sometimes wants the fame as well, becomes a stage mom, becomes engulfed in all the celebrity and the attention and the money that comes with it, where sometimes they get lost in the sauce of it as well. So answer your question, I'm not sure. I mean, we saw that Nickelodeon documentary that came out where so many of those children were subjected to the terror of that guy, that creator. I can't think of his name. But to the other thing that you were bringing up about we seem to accept it, we really do, because when we had Jaleel White on here, we were praising him for the protection that was provided to him by his parents,
And a
by
great
his
family.
community. Yeah, and that it seems like we hear less of those stories more than we hear, and the more commonplace stories are these children who grow up and struggle from whatever they experienced when they were young child actors, or people just disappear from the spotlight in general, and that's why we don't tell those stories at all. But I feel like it does feel like it's more commonplace. And I think we just live in a society where people, they what's the word I'm trying to use? They are interested in this aspect of
there's a certain
the story.
affinity that they have for the demise of the child star because it's an interesting true
story,
crime.
like a true. I was just about to say, like a true crime. Like I think people gravitate to these kind of stories, and they like to consume this type of information more than the story of the child who made it out and is doing well for themselves or is having a continued success in their career.
Yeah. Very, very, very sad. Okay. We're going to actually give you guys, as an audience, we talked about hell and death to start the goddamn podcast. So we're going to give you one more break, and then we're going to get into talking about Storm on the other side of this, but just a mental health break for you guys. Jade?
Yeah. Marvel has officially found its new Storm. Broadway breakout Maya Boyd will play Miss Monroe in the MCU's upcoming X-Men reboot, with Marvel Studios confirming the casting Friday at Disney's D23 event. Boyd is best known for her stage work, including starring as Juliet in Broadway's & Juliet and appearing in Joe Turner's Come and Gone alongside Taraji P. Henson. The role of Storm will mark a major jump into feature films for the 23-year-old actress, following Halle Berry and Alexandra Shipp, who previously portrayed Storm on the big screen.
All right. So she is Storm. She is basically unknown besides her work on the stage. Okay. This might be her first screen credit, which is just phenomenal. Everybody keeps saying it. I'm going to echo this. She must have just destroyed her audition. And I like this. I like this casting because a lot of times when you put a name to a role like this, it's not about vision. They must have been able to see Storm in her.
Yeah, I think it's cool too because we talk sometimes about seeing the same people in the same roles. And the fact that we're getting someone who is obviously incredibly talented, comes from a Broadway career and big shows, by the way, then to be in the Marvel Universe playing such an iconic character as Storm, it's just like she's a rising star, and I'm excited to see what she does next. But I think it's really cool that we're meeting somebody new. She was new to me. We're introduced to someone who we're going to get to see them grow and go on and do great things. And I think that that's a contrast to some of like the same people getting the same types of roles.
So I was at D23 when they announced it.
You went?
Yeah, we went to D23. I was at D23 when they announced it, and they were announcing the whole cast, and there wasn't until they got to Adam Driver at the end these huge, like, whatever. A lot of people wanted Jamie Lawson to play Storm.
I saw that.
And so Jamie Lawson is so in her moment right now, phenomenal performer, that if she would have walked out there, it probably would have been a big pop to the audience. But when it said Maya Boyd, we were like, we don't know who that is. And so I think just the entire X-Men cast reveal was a little bit more muted than what Marvel would have hoped for at D23. But I think it bodes well for the movie, because that means that rather than go out there and, like I said, attach names to kind of get a pop now, they actually went with people who they feel like embody these characters.
Yeah.
What do you think about the controversy? The Versy? Little Versy?
I understand.
Oh.
I don't agree with what's happening.
Oh,
I think that this should be a time for celebration.
Father, Dad.
And I think that people were celebrating it, and then people started to relitigate it because...
Can we tell the people what the controversy is?
So the controversy basically is colorism when it comes to the casting of Storm. If I don't think you have to know much about, even though we do know the X-Men are my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't read the comic books, but you don't have to know much to know that Halle Berry played Storm for a while. Then Alexandra Shipp played Storm
for a while.
And there was a lot of controversy because both of them are biracial women. And according to the comic books, correct me if I'm wrong, according to the comic books, Storm comes from a Kenyan mother.
It's Kenyan, yeah.
And an African-American father.
Yes, they've retconned it. It used to be that she was straight Kenyan, and sometimes, but they've retconned it now. Her official thing is that, yeah. So yes,
she's half, but
so take it again. Yes, she's right. Her father's from here, and her mother's from Cairo.
So obviously, from the fans of X-Men MCU, there has been this call out of the people that you are casting, which is a Hollywood trend. We know people that you are casting are not reflecting who Storm is, and Storm is such an iconic and one of the most powerful, and at times has led the X-Men. As a character, don't you love this?
She's one of the leaders of the X-Men.
Did you love that? I'm the one talking about Marvel. This is rare. This is rare. I'm doing the best that I can. That because of that the representation should be what is reflected in the comic books and her heritage, which is a deep, dark-skinned woman, is what they're saying. Now, the casting, so this has been a thing for decades, that there's been a calling of it. So there was this expectation that now that she is being recast, that they will listen to what people are saying, and there would have been a Jamie Lawson, who fans really thought it was going to be. Then it's Maya Boyd. Maya Boyd is a brown-skinned woman. I think that there is a spectrum when people do dark-skinned, like whatever. She is a monoracial black woman. And immediately people started saying she wasn't dark enough. That's the controversy. So we're back into the colorism thing. So when I say I understand people that want to see the exactly what is reflected in the comic book, even though I did read, and this is where you would have to jump in, that her tone changes at times in the comic book.
Of course, because different people draw her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but people wanted representation as far as a deep, dark-skinned woman that is consistently we see in Hollywood. There's statistics. You can go look. Gina Davis Institute Research did a whole black woman in Hollywood study and shows the lack of representation, shows the percentage is highly in favor of light to medium brown-skinned black woman when it comes to representation in film and on television. And so this was an opportunity they felt to actually reflect what was in the comic book, which was a deeper dark-skinned woman. I understand the desire and the need for that, and I understand the conversation should continue in that way. But at the same time, we have to celebrate Maya Boyd. Maya Boyd, this is the first time. That's why I say I have to talk about it both ways, because I'm not saying you shouldn't talk about the lack of representation. But what it takes away is this beautiful, brown-skinned, young actress, monoracial, playing Storm. It's the first time we've seen it in film. And it's something to celebrate. And I just hate that she is getting this amazing opportunity, the biggest in her career. And there is this cloud of colorism that is over it. And it's us relitigating it. I think there's a way to talk about it and not be so negative with the conversation. There's just, it's just going in a direction that it doesn't need to go. And I think both conversations can be had in a way that addresses both concerns.
So I think when I look at Maya Boyd, she kind of reminds me a lot of Storm from the comics in that her skin tone changes the way the light hits her.
I agree.
Like, so, the light hits her. Now, there are obviously some deep, dark-skinned sisters that don't matter what light they're in. But the time she looks browner or a little deeper, then the other time she kind of doesn't. Depends on the way the light's hitting her. Now, that's why I'll say, I wanted to do a game. We're not going to do it.
Game?
Yeah, I wanted to do a game. I wanted to do, and this is the first time I'm ever going to do this. I haven't been on any of those terrible boards in such a long time. But the first time I'm going to do this is I'll ask, just in the comments, whether or not this game is appropriate. I was going to do a game called What is Dark Skin? And essentially, we were going to establish all of the different tones of Hollywood. We're going to go from the light, bright biracials all the way. We're going to use people as basically swatches. And moving forward, we were going to be able to say, hey, that's a Drake. Hey, that's a Naomi Campbell. It's a Jamie Lawson. Hey, that's a Yaya. Hey, that's a Tone. We're going to use them as swatches because what we need is something to stop this never-ending discourse. Very important discourse, like you say. Representation is very important. Storm's heritage is insanely important to who Storm is. I said Cairo earlier because she's raised in Egypt. A lot of her heritage is very important. So the Halle Berry thing, we let it slide, but it was bullshit. Just be honest. We let it slide because it was Halle Berry. Halle Berry was ascending, and we were so happy that the X-Men were coming to the screen. But I remember we walked out of the movie like, come on, man. That ain't a Storm situation. And then with the Alexandra Shipp situation, you almost had to do that.
Because it was a younger version?
Because it's basically a younger version, right? It's basically in universe now. So you had to kind of get a younger version, like in that situation. Kind of had to do the same thing. It wasn't exactly a younger version. There's some playing around with like what the timelines are and all of that stuff like that, and like who was what and where and how it happened and all of that stuff. But it for all intents and purposes was. So you had to go that way. And now people wanted, hey, we're going to start fresh. We want a comic accurate Storm. And I bet the most surprised people in all of this are the white people who made the decision.
Oh, 100%.
They are probably
What
somewhere
do you
like
mean?
they are probably somewhere going. And this, when you talk about representation, this is where the representation really needs to be, because it's like that episode of The Studio. You remember The Studio?
I don't
where they
know
were,
the show.
Oh, well, there was an episode of The Studio where they were trying to cast the Kool-Aid movie. And they realized that they had cast the Kool-Aid guy as a black guy. And then they go, wait a minute, we can't do that. And by the end, they got an entire cast. They can't put two lesbians together. They can't make the Kool-Aid. Now they made the guy Kool-Aid, but then they made his wife white, and they're like, the people not gonna go for that. So they running around trying to figure out how to cast the Kool-Aid movie, right? But
I'm gonna watch now.
oh, it's
That's
hilarious. When I tell you it's fucking hysterical. And the reason why it's hysterical is because Seth Rogen is a producer. So he's been in these conversations before. And you can tell that something rang true about how you have to walk on eggshells for stuff like that.
Okay.
But anyway, I look at this and I really feel like any opportunity to talk about colorism or to talk about like what's going right or what's going wrong is true. To your point, as long as we don't overshadow
Yeah.
or drown the exuberance that this young sister has for getting this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And we should all celebrate one thing. They didn't go biracial, man.
That's why I think, like you said, the white people are shocked at the response.
They didn't go biracial, man. It's so many. This could be, they didn't go biracial. Shout out, by the way, there's a truce. There's been a truce. By the way, this is not breaking the truce.
Okay.
I do not seek to break the truce with my biracial brothers and sisters. And you guys are brothers and sisters. I want you guys to remember something. To me, you're just black.
Oh, here we go. They know that that's what you think.
I don't look at you as biracial. I don't think
They
that's
know.
a real thing.
They
To
know.
me, you're black.
They know.
Okay? So that's the thing. So the truth stands, but we couldn't go back to Storm as biracial again.
No,
We've been down that
she
road.
had to be monoracial. Can I just say we could never do your game?
Why?
I was having this conversation in Martha's Vineyard
Oh, shit.
about light skin versus brown
Skinned it?
skin versus dark skin. And it is so subjective.
Oh.
And it is truly based on how you grew up and the members of your family
Mhm.
and like the community you grew up in. Because I would say that this person was light skinned and they would be like, no, that person is brown skinned. And then this person and it's just because they are looking at the people, they're looking at themselves versus the people they grew up in. And it's just an impossible game to play. I don't think when you're high yellow, there's no arguing that.
Yeah.
But and like
Ebony?
when you're on different ends of the
You can see your
spectrum, there's no
veins?
arguing that. But everything in between, I would just be shocked. I'd be like, that person is clearly brown.
I'm
Like
dark
now they're
skinned.
light skinned. So you consider yourself dark skinned.
Yeah.
But like, what's dark skin?
I'm dark. I'm a
When
dark-
does
I'm
the
dark
brown
skinned
when does
black-
brown
dark
skin
skinned.
change from dark skin?
Snipes.
I think if you're
Tay.
brown, oh
Morse.
my God, you are none of these people that you're naming.
Snipes. I'm dark. I'm dark.
You see what I'm saying? Even Jade's, even Marco knows that that's not true.
Marco. Hey man.
You said
Tay hit me up-
Teddy,
I hit Tay hit me up
Wesley.
yesterday.
Who else did you name?
I'm a strong,
Morris?
dark-skinned brother.
And this is
A lot
why
of
we
people
can't
say I
play
look
the
like
game.
Morris Chestnut a lot.
We've done this before.
Oh no, it's actually A$AP Rocky. The people I get
We've
the
done
most.
this before.
I apologize. But you know, I'm
couldn't play
raised
the
by
game.
a very beautiful, proud, dark-skinned woman. My mom, who would tell me the stories of the plight of dark-skinned women.
Do you think that there's a difference between brown skin and dark skin?
Yeah,
Your mom's brown skin.
my mother is definitely dark-skinned.
See, this
You're
is what I'm
nuts.
saying.
There's no way. No, there's no way. My mother is definitely dark-skinned.
Are you brown skin?
Yeah, I'm brown skinned. All jokes aside, like I'm a brown skinned guy. My mother though is definitely dark skinned. No
am I?
way, huh?
What am I?
Nigga, you damn near light.
I am so brown skin.
You damn
We
near
are
light.
in my eyes,
High
we're the same
yellow.
complexion.
High yellow, mellow,
This is stop.
mellow, high yellow ass. No, you got brown skin. This is a brown skin podcast. Jay's brown skin, all of that
Yeah,
stuff like
it's
that.
a brown skin
It's a brown
podcast.
skin. We could have made it. Could have been the brown skin podcast, but like, look, Storm is. All of these conversations are like, look at this. Look at the cartoon Storm. Look at that.
No, I know. That's
So, like, they
but
don't
I've
know-
also seen darker
Storm
skin.
is supposed to be dark. She's
Yeah,
supposed to
I've
be
seen
darker
other
skin. I'm not even fucking around. I'm not even going to halfway. But, you know, I think keep the conversation going. Understand that we're going to have conversations about what the American beauty standard is, what that means, how that affects us, how we are drawn, how we are imagined. You know, I like mentioned my dad a couple of times today. So one time, my dad, this is the second time, there'll be a third. One time my dad was looking at like World's Finest, the comic books, Superman and Batman together.
Mhm.
And he's like, Superman and Batman look like they could be brothers, which actually gets kind of played off of in Superman American Alien,
Like the real life versions of them?
the comic book version of them.
Okay.
In Superman American Alien, Superman shows up at a party and they think that he's Bruce Wayne
Mm.
because they look so similar. And my dad looked at that and he goes, do they have any superheroes with dreadlocks? He's like, do they have any that like just have a fade? Like who are he's been like Black Suit, he was fucking around and joking.
Mhm.
But what he was actually talking about, I've said this before, is he's talking about like what we associate with heroism. The square jaw, the dark hair, the blue eyes, all of that together, like what we associate with heroism, the American vision and version of mythology of who saves who out of a burning building, and how that incepts into someone what the idea of what it means to be a hero. Because then you see Superman in the police. Then you see Superman in politicians. They look like Superman. That's how they look. That's the person that saves you. That's the person you put your faith in, right?
Yeah.
It's all a part of the same thing. And so these characters, as much as people would think that it doesn't matter, seeing somebody with locks or a fade or long blowing a fro be somebody who can lift the thing is insanely important, particularly for kids, because it changes, at least to me, your relationship with like what you think a hero is.
You see yourself.
You see
think
yourself.
You can be the hero.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's very so.
And you can.
But I'm excited for Maya. I'm excited for the X-Men movie.
Me too.
You know, I'm excited that they didn't go back down the same road, because they could have.
So this is a win.
It's definitely a win, because it's like, you know, I'm still on the Coco Jones kick. I'm still like, what's up? What about Coco Jones, man? What about Marseille Martin? You know, what about, because I watch the shows and I see all the, what about them? Jade?
On to some sadder news. Jason Arday, the British sociologist who became the University of Cambridge's youngest Black professor, has died at 41. He was found unresponsive at a home in London on Friday. No cause of death has been announced yet. Arday's death came just over a week after he resigned from Cambridge after coming under intense media scrutiny, with weeks of news headlines alleging plagiarism in his academic work and questions surrounding claims about his athletic and fundraising accomplishments. His death has prompted outcries that the allegations against Arday were magnified into a cruel public takedown motivated by racism and longstanding hostility to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and policies at universities and other institutions. The Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, came out with a statement saying Arday's death was a tragedy on so many levels. It's not a moment for any rushing to judgment. It's a moment for reflection, reflecting on how things came to this.
This is so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
The Atlantic has a really good article that's written by Tyler Harper, and it's called The Truth. Hold on. It's called The Truth That Failed Jason Arday. And rather than doing like was he a fraud versus was this a racist pile-on, he has you look at the problem. The problem is two-sided. There was an expectation that was too low versus an expectation that was too high. And it's just really interesting how he breaks it down, because he talks about it's not the question of whether or not that Jason made mistakes. It's why his mistakes became this pile-on, this 9-day pile-on. And he goes into the whole thing of when a white academic's error happens with them, they get treated as an individual failing. This is something that an individual did. Whereas when a Black academic does something, it's an indictment on the Black community as a whole. It fits into a stereotype about Black people, and the punishment fits the same thing. You know, it wasn't something that happened that was handled privately. I mean, I'll go back in a second, but this was something that from the moment he decided to resign and posted why, they continued. I saw one thing that said there were 250 articles after he resigned. And in the 9 days prior to his death, there were almost 190 of them, of that 250, of just piling on as an indictment on Jason, on DEI, on the problems of hiring, when in this article, it's even more interesting because it talks about how it would have been easy to recognize that some of the things that Jason was saying were exaggerated. And even now, Cambridge has come out and said that they didn't thoroughly, look at some of his published work because they were so eager, and this is what happens with Black people who, ascend, whether it's in some type of profession or in success, that they were so quick to have their young Black star and have a headline with that story that is what they focused on rather than something else. And then when it came to, him being called out and the plagiarism allegations, they were nowhere to be found, and they weren't, looking out for him in the same way. And so in the article, he's talking about the cost of it all. And it's really, really interesting, of obviously talking about things that we've talked about that happen in other industries, of the double standard when it comes to Black people, the way that Black people are regarded or lauded, and then the way that they are completely thrown from the top and disregarded. And it's an indictment on us all when something happens. And it's just a really, really sad story in the way this is. They were so quick to use him as a symbol, but then in no ways did they protect him from any of this as well when they were also a part of it.
Yeah. So, there's equality is not like a single thing. There's equality of consequence. There's equality of treatment. There's equality of concern.
Mm-hmm.
But it all has to do with the basic question, which is, are you a person or not?
Right.
Like, are you a human being or not? Right. So, like, this guy becomes a credit to his race. Then he becomes a cancer to his race, when really he was just Jason. And everything that was thrust upon him in expectation of being lauded for having a shiny black toy, just a person. And on the backside of it, all of this stuff happened. His issues, be they real or fabricated, weren't in any way reflective of a larger societal problem with Black academia at all. That wasn't a thing. He was a guy, and he deserved to be looked at as an individual human, respected with the dignity of an individual human and with the care that an individual human gets. But we don't get that. That's not what we get. What we get is, and sometimes I have to be honest, sometimes like we do this, right? Sometimes you'll see, hey, look at this young Black kid that got into 25 different schools and all of the schools and stuff like that. Wow, what a thing. Yeah, I guess. It's a person who got into a lot of colleges. I guess. That's awesome. I guess that's not supposed to happen. I guess we're not supposed to get into a lot of I guess. Yeah. I'm proud. I'm happy that happened. I'm happy. But there's a cost. The cost is on the backside, you don't get to be a person, and if it goes wrong, then everybody goes, look, this is why these niggas shouldn't be here in the first place. That's because I'm reading the Black Tax again, and there's something in the Black Tax. So when you read the Black Tax, and they talk about just the cost. So I'm doing my capitalism thing. We'll talk about it more later, right? The cost of being Black in this world. There's one that's really funny, okay? Some of them are not funny, right? Some of them are like obviously deeply disturbing. Obviously, it's not a comedy book. The majority of the book is not funny, right? But there's one that's funny. So obviously, you know that like you guys could guess that they put your picture on Airbnb, and then when they put your picture on Airbnb, if you're Black, they try to rent from you less. There's this inherent bias that white people have against Black people, and it shows up in all different types of ways. So if you're a Black person and you have a Black picture of your Black self up on Airbnb, they are going to fucking rent from your shit less. They're going to rent from your shit less. There's data to back it up. But that's not the funny one. The funny one is in baseball cards. I'll tell you why it's funny in baseball cards. Because in the book, it talks about how like people get lower value or less bids on baseball cards if they're Black. You would think, how would they know? Well, in the picture of you holding the baseball card, right? You're holding the card to display it so people can bid on the card and trade the card. Your thumb is in the picture. So your thumb is in the picture. This is real. Your thumb is in the picture. So your thumb being in the picture They can see
That's
just a
hilarious.
little black.
And that's too much.
And that's too much. They can see just a little black. And they go, I don't want your Willie Mays card. Or I got to get it for less because you're black. And whenever I read it, and I've gone through it a couple times, whenever I read it, I always burst into laughter at that point. Because it's like, you're holding a book, they see a little black, and they go, no, you're less. You're less than. Like, the card's worth less. Everything's worth less. You're black. So in this situation, this guy needed support as a human being. He needed respect as a human being. He needed love and caring as a human being, just as Jason. But he was somebody's nigga mascot. And that was a nigga mascot for excellence at first, and then that was a nigga mascot for dysfunction. And he couldn't deal with it. And there are a lot of human beings that are not going to be able to deal with the way you thrash them in the name of your narrative. So when it happens to people and the toe tags are on them, just add one to your body count. Because all of this bullshit is killing people now. It's always killed people. Mm-hmm. Your expectation, your insistence on making black people qualify their humanity at every stop on their way to the grave speeds up that journey to the grave. So there's a cost. We can keep talking about it and whatever, there's always going to be a face to it, whether it's the police doing it, whether it's a situation like this, there's a cost.
Yeah, it's always going to happen. It's just really devastating because I just don't think people understand. And this is why I keep going back to this article, because it's not about, to me, it's not about whether or not there was an investigation about the stuff that he did and plagiarism or the fraud of it all. It's the bigger conversation is that, one, he's not the first to do it, period. Mm-hmm. And there's an example that's given of a writer who was with New York Magazine, who they found that out, and now he works at The Nation. You don't even know about it. We didn't hear about it. It's not investigated the same way. It's not publicized the same way. It's not researched. It's not an indictment the same way. Anything like that. You get one who goes to another level, headlines, youngest black ever, the first in various ways, outstanding, all these things. And from the moment he accepted that position, he was highly scrutinized, criticized, investigated. He had been investigated before. He passed that plagiarism allegation. He was constantly attacked for holding that position when there's like less than 1% of people that hold positions like he does. And the reality is, and you said it, I said it, is that this happens across various industries. And that's a conversation that we're going to keep having, because we have to keep pointing out that we are held to a completely different standard. This isn't a DEI conversation. This isn't really more anything, I guess, to me, other than the way black people are regarded versus the way white people are regarded in the exact same situation. And in this one, it ended with somebody's life.
So Orlando Jones, I keep bringing this up. I wish we could play
Sorry,
it.
I heard Orlando Brown. Sorry.
Damn, that's tough, man. He's in the show today.
Sorry, I think that's
so
why.
We move on. But Orlando Jones played Mr. Nancy, the American Gods. And what he was really playing was Anansi. It was a figure of Ghanaian mythology. American Gods is a great show. It's a show that the basis of the show is that, the God is only, I think I talked about this on the 154 Africa podcast, Akbar and Godfrey, which
blowing up. I see those clips everywhere.
Man, shout out to the 154 Africa podcast. Shout out to Godfrey and Akbar. Shout out to them. I just gotta be real. I've never been on a podcast that has been clipped up more, ever. That shows the work ethic of our African brothers. Sentence by sentence, everything. It's shit that's coming out. That we were on the pod for 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
I want to bring them on here. They're great guys. We were on the pod for 3 hours. It's shit that's coming out that I forgot that I said.
Well, 3 hours, yeah. I would think so.
The Hollywood celebrity culture is dead. I forgot that I said that. I think I might have said it also on the shop, but the shop is coming out too. It's like I'm on the shop and Vic Mensa's podcast. My little media
Yeah,
thing is
tour.
not over. Yeah. But I always have to bring this up because of two things. Number one, they got rid of Orlando Jones off of American Gods because of this. American Gods, just to give you guys a framework, it's a show about warring gods, but the mythology in the show is that you are alive as a god as long as people believe in you. So they're the new gods, and then they're the old gods. The old gods are Odin, whomever else would have been a god back in the day, Norse gods and all of that stuff like that. But the new gods are the internet, like all of that stuff like that. These are the new gods, or whatever. Mr. World Boy or whatever his name was and all that stuff. The new gods and the old gods are fighting. And Mr. Nancy's on that show, and there he pops up in a slave ship, and he's talking to people. He's basically, and he talks about the identity of that will come of worldwide blackness. And he talks about one thing I never forget. And Orlando Jones was writing these himself.
Oh, wow.
And they were going too far, and then they got the character off of the show. Because Orlando, not for the bullshit, I've talked to him before. And he says, when you are black, when you are white and you fuck up, I've said this on the show before, it is viewed as a good person doing a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you are black and you fuck up, it is looked at as you showing people who you always were.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it's almost a quaint analysis. It's almost simple. But Jesus Christ, is it not hit like a sledgehammer? Like, how many fucking times do we have to get through a situation for us to see that is just overwhelmingly true?
You've personally experienced it. I've personally experienced it.
Absolutely. After years and years and years, I was a choke artist. It's like it was so fucking funny. I will say this though, in that situation with me, my coworkers, they did not go for that shit. Like I have to give them credit. My coworkers were like, "Nah, that's not Van. Like that's not Van." But it was interesting to see me positioned in that. Y'all know I can be overbearing, I can be moody, I can be mercurial, I can be all of those things. Like at times, hey, man, we got to do something about the show. We got to do the show. And I get all emotional and stuff like that. But day to day you come in, you know.
Clip it.
Yes. Day to day you come in this bitch, it's smiles and hugs and how you doing and what can I do to help you.
We would not still be here.
And just to see yourself in a moment get painted like that, it's like, wow.
I've been there.
It's like, yeah, with the hands in the face and all of that.
Chris Harrison.
Yeah.
At the end
man,
of my
fuck
season,
that nigga, bro.
angry
I don't
black
like that
female.
nigga. Hey, bro, fuck him, bro.
It happens. Like people will love you.
Still fuck, I don't like that nigga.
Why would
I never liked the look of his. I'm still mad about. We got to bring back the soup kitchen. We got to bring back. I don't like him, bro. Like he really tried to get his little shit off, didn't he?
And what does he get? And what did he get in return? A settlement, and apparently a new dating show.
That nigga rich though.
He
did do it. Maybe I do fuck with him. I turn it around. Fuck, we fucking with niggas that get their money.
But it happens. It happens to.
No, we're not. We'll talk about that later. Fuck that nigga.
What's next?
Fuck Chris Harris. Fuck him. Fuck Soup Kitchen, bro. Fuck it. Like fake ass concern. I hate fake concern. Fake hustle. I just not like. You don't want to step back into the. Okay, I get it. I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have said all of that. But anyway, all of that from this is just like, we're people.
And look, it's such a sad tragedy.
Yeah. I do want to talk about James Talarico and Ken Paxton in the pen. Hey guys, I'll be honest with you. What you're about to see right now is the best political ad I've seen in a very long time. I can't think of one that resonates with me better.
So what are the ingredients? What makes you love it? What makes a political campaign ad one of the best? What do you need?
Okay, so this is what makes a great political campaign ad. Number one, simplicity. You cannot be asking people to investigate an issue that's too complex. Number two, it has to strike to the heart of not what the candidate said, but who the candidate is. A good political ad is not around any vote that you cast. That's not a good political ad. That's one that's like a jab. A devastating hook or uppercut of a political ad gets to the core of, do you want to be around this person? And then the third one, to me, is the brevity of the ad.
Okay.
You have to be able to say what you are saying concisely so that people, especially now in the YouTube age, can watch the full ad over and over and over again. Legitimately, good ads to me are like good jokes. Set up, middle, punchline, out. Not too long, meandering, and all of that stuff like that.
Okay.
That's why this one is a fucking doozy that we have in the race between James Talarico and a fucking thief in Ken Paxton. Play the ad.
This is Ken Paxton, and this is Ken Paxton stealing someone's $1,000 pen. Here's what happened. The incident happened at the Collin County Courthouse, the same courthouse where Paxton would later be indicted for investment fraud. Paxton walked up to the trays next to the metal detectors, rummaged through them, and came across someone else's expensive Mont Blanc pen. He decided to take it for himself. The pen belonged to Joe Joplin, a local attorney who'd accidentally left it behind. It was a special gift from his wife. When Joe realized it was missing, he contacted courthouse security. This is the footage they pulled. Ken Paxton, on camera, stealing this man's pen. After the police got involved, Joe got his pen back. He could have pressed charges, but he decided against it because Joe's a nice guy. He'd never take someone else's pen. But he also hasn't forgotten who took his.
Hi, I'm Joe Joplin, and I endorse James Talarico for the United States Senate.
Vote for James Talarico.
So
He
good.
won't steal your pen.
He won't steal your pen.
Bro, in any, y'all can say what the fuck y'all want to say. In any actual world of reality, that would be a fucking haymaker. First of all, they got something that they talked about. They got a white Vic. He didn't steal Lakeisha pen. He didn't steal Darius pen. He didn't steal little Kenny pen. He stole from a Christian white-haired. That nigga looked like the motherfucker on the goddamn oatmeal box.
No, it's very Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, like he stole from another upstanding white. How could he?
And if he'll steal from him, he'll steal
What
from
will he do
you.
from you if he'll steal from a white, from an upstanding white? And I love at the end he went, I'm endorsing James Talarico. Even the drawl, everything about that is perfect. I saw this ad. We don't really play political ads on the show. I don't know that we have not been, just so we'll say, oh my God, we have not been contacted by any campaigns or paid one fucking dollar for anything ever. Rachel is a Texan. We saw the ad. We put the ad in the show because that's a dope ass ad.
And there's two things that stand out to me that are subtle that I think really pack a punch. They say he steals the pen from the same courthouse where he was later indicted.
Come on, man. They doing their thing. Can we just admit they're doing their thing?
2 counts of first-degree felony, which, by the way, were fraud charges, security fraud. So that kind of, to your point of the criteria, it goes above your head. Like securities fraud, I don't really understand what that means, but I do understand what it is to steal a pen. Oh, by the way, he works in that courthouse, but he also was charged with felony, first degree. Now, he pled and they dropped the felony charges or whatever, but still, he pled down. But he's a thief already, right? And even on a bigger scale. And then the second thing they do is, this is a pen he got from his wife.
Damn.
Just a subtle thing like that. This was a gift out of love. He's married. He's a family man. And his wife was just doing something really nice for him. And Ken Paxton stole that.
Right.
He stole it.
Ken Paxton is the type of guy that sees something that's not his, and rather than tries to return it, tries to take it and own it. And think about what he'll do. This is a leader. He sees an opportunity to fuck a working man, and he takes it.
But here's the other jab. Here's the other subtle message. Ken Paxton steals from a man who is in a committed, beautiful relationship, marriage. His wife does things for him. Of course, Ken Paxton doesn't appreciate that. He cheats on his wife. He's known for having an affair. She was going to divorce him. And then now, you know, with the politics of it all in the race, it's been pushed to the side. But he doesn't know the value of marriage and appreciate it. Just like he doesn't appreciate the value of somebody's property. There's so many layers to this.
I know that there's been a lot of consternation down there in Texas about this race and about James Talarico's place, but I just want you guys to envision a world right now where you can appreciate that political act. It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. He took the pin. They come back. He's got the pin. The pin is $1,000. First of all, the fact that there's an $1,000 pin is absurd as well. I don't even know what Mont Blanc pin is, but he had the pin. Very special gift from his wife. Guy tries to take the pin. He has to give the pin back. It's on video. Another thing about it is it's on video. They got video.
Why wasn't he charged for this?
Because the guy, as long as he got the pin back,
okay,
he said he didn't want to press any charges.
Well, this was the charge.
This was
the
charge.
indictment.
This was the charge. It's like, what do you? There's no explanation for this, by the way. Like he says, the Paxton camp says that he was rummaging through stuff and he just took the pin on accident. No. Shut up, nigga. No. You know that pin is not yours. You get home and you know it's not yours.
You know how he definitely knew? Nobody else is around.
Right.
It's not like this was a long, because when you go through the courthouse, you have to go through security, you have to put your thing in, you know, whatever, the metal detector. Nobody else was there. So it's not like you accidentally took it because there were all these other people and stuff around. It was just you. It was just you and the pin and your stuff. And you took it.
Ken Paxton, pin thief. Pin thief. Will he be a senator is the question. Will he be a senator is the question. Pin thief. You think Talarico's going to win?
I hope Talarico's going to win.
Let's look
Everything
at the
about Paxton is just disgusting in every single way.
But doesn't it say so much about where we are?
Yes, but I mean, he mirrors Trump in so many ways. And these are the same people who vote for Trump. I mean, he has been impeached by a Republican Texas Congress. He has a career, decades-long career of being embattled with scandals and charges and the impeachment and affairs and corruption and all of this. And he is the person who is representing the Republican Party. That is what represents them.
So
nationally and here.
So from KXAN News. I don't know where this is.
It's a Texas station.
Texas station. Okay, so
Maybe
this is the latest
Austin.
polling. 1 point separates them. 1 point separates them. It's incredibly close. Paxton is at 47%. Talarico is at 46%. There are 5% remaining undecided, and 2% say that they're going to vote for another candidate. There are a couple of things here that matter. Black respondents' support for Talarico was 70% favorable, 5% unfavorable, 8% hadn't heard of him. Only 24.3% of black respondents had a favorable opinion of Paxton, while 56% had an unfavorable position. So it's
24% have a favorable opinion of Paxton?
Yeah, Texas, Coonland.
No, it's not Coonland.
What? Cool.
It's
Coonland,
not Coonland,
USA. What?
That's insane.
24.
Who are you? Stand up.
Like what?
Like what?
Like
the
no.
fuck?
Nah. Hey, you always coming in my state.
I am.
You always coming in my state. By the way, I love Texas.
Get
Y'all not
light
cool,
them
man.
up. I'm upset.
But you know who is?
4%.
You know, like a guy like Joel Anderson is probably someone.
No, don't
Joel
do
Anderson
Joel
is
like
a
that.
Joel definitely most likely a Paxton supporter.
Don't do this.
Joel loves this type of stuff. If you got listen to Tailgate this week,
Joel,
and Joel is going to talk to
come
you
on and
guys
defend yourself?
about how much he loves Paxton. Joel loves this type of stuff, man. Joel's probably out there stumping for Paxton. No, Joel is the most, and I'm talking about other podcast co-hosts again. Joel is the most interesting brain at the Ringer to me. Because Joel is viciously in favor of all of these things, but it's this cornucopia of stuff to where you really never know what side of an argument he's going to fall on.
For the sake of arguing, or because
Nope.
he actually believes
Well,
it?
a little bit, but like also because he's like a really deep thinker on so many different issues that there's really just no way to pin him down. He keeps you on your toes. Keeps you on your toes. Joe
Well,
Anderson.
he's not a Paxton supporter.
He could be. He probably likes him. Okay. Moving on. What do we have next? Oh, this is my shit. We getting into the fucking thick of the pod now.
Oh, this is where
Yeah.
I tune out.
Well,
We getting into the thick of the pod
we
now.
got a boxing match to discuss.
Okay.
Ray J defeated Orlando Brown by unanimous decision Saturday night
UD
in
victory.
a 3-round celebrity boxing match at Atlanta's State Farm Arena. The fight streamed on Zeus Network and was a part of the undercard for Clarissa Shields versus Kay Scott. The fight was more entertaining than competitive, with both men appearing to have fun with the spectacle. The matchup settled a long-running and increasingly personal feud between the two, as Orlando has repeatedly mocked Ray J as Brandy's brother, and the tensions escalated at a June press conference when Orlando slapped Ray J in the face with a stack of cash. We have some video of the fight. Let's watch.
Play. You got Ray J in the black trunks. Okay. Measuring. Ray J with the jab. Oh, jab to the body. Orlando with a haymaker over the top. Oh, Ray J with the right. Rear right hand. Okay. He's jabbing. Ray J's jabbing. He's coming in behind the jab. Now he's switched to southpaw now. Now he's southpaw. Now he's still, but Ray J is still, he's working behind the jab. Orlando's coming in like Joe Frazier. Like he's coming in bobbing and weaving like Joe Frazier. What is this fury? He's going through the Wolverine Berserker rage. The cardio's not bad here. Orlando is now switched back southpaw. Ray J is, both of these guys are gassed. Both of these guys are gassed. It's a lot in the ring. They're walking around. Look, I'm going to say this again. You can say whatever you want. I've seen people freeze up in a gym full of people. If you ever really boxed, or if you ever get down and you have a lot of rounds, it's just difficult for me to criticize somebody that's under them lights. I know this sounds so weird to people, but I've been to smaller shows at like the Commerce Casino shows all the way out there just with dudes from the gym. And I just been places and stuff. You just never know. These guys are both performers. You never know how somebody's going to react when there's a crowd full of people and the lights are on. So if you took your shirt off and got under them lights and had a boxing match, I know it's so stupid, man. It's just so hard for me to be critical of you if you got under that. I know guys that fuck around in the gym all the time. They won't even move with you. It's like, hey man, we just moving. I don't want to. They won't even move with you. So I don't know. I just see stuff like this, and obviously it looks ridiculous, but I kind of want to give kudos to both guys.
It is ridiculous. I didn't open one video to even look at it.
Oh shit, man, you missing out.
Because the question is, how is Ray J's heart? How is
Obviously
his
it's
health?
fine.
And that's the point. You went on here and you talked about your health, which everybody should take seriously, right? Like,
Of course.
didn't joke about it. Like, wow, like you're coming out here talking about your chance of living. You've got kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got family that loves you. I took what he said seriously because I would never not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, you've been doing everything that contradicts that. So when I see this, I need to at least have another statement to say that you're doing better and your health is. Because every time I see something like this, I'm going to be like, what's really going on? And also this fight means nothing to me because when he got knocked out by a super hot fire, what did he say? This wasn't a part of the plan. So
Yeah.
I'm not even going to watch this staged whatever.
It looked like they was trying to.
Kayfabe.
Do you think it's kayfabe? It
We
looked
know
like
it
they
is.
was trying
It's
to
kayfabe.
fight.
Let's bring it. Let's
right.
call it what it is. Giving Ray J this attention, him walking away with a win and bragging rights is nuts. When we saw him get knocked out and that knot on his head, completely embarrassed. I don't know what is this? What are we doing? What is Ray J doing? This is your friend. When is he going to be on the show?
Ray J is probably not going to come on the show.
Why?
Because I don't think that Ray J. Oh wow, a different world when single camera. which I wasn't expecting.
Turn it around.
Yeah, the trailer's out for a Different World show. Look, single camera. Huh. Isn't that interesting? I didn't think that was going to happen. I don't think Ray J is ever going to come on the show. I think that a lot of people sometimes don't want to come on this particular show because, you know, if we were a much, much bigger show, then they would have to come on. But you come on now and they know that they're going to get like a real conversation. And
so they're scared.
I wouldn't say scared, but like I've asked Ray J to come on the show, and like Ray J is going to come on the show and he's going to have to talk to you about his boxing and all of that stuff like that. Maybe you don't want to do that.
Well, I would welcome it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't say that about everybody.
It's true. You want to have a conversation. This is what I'm saying. I got a Ray J blind spot. I do.
You do. And it's okay. We all have our blind spots.
I like Ray J. I like Ray J, man. Ray J is probably the most MAGA person that I like.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he MAGA for sure. It's MAGA shit for sure. Ray J is definitely
keeps getting worse.
But look, even in this situation, if you look at this, we don't really take Ray J's political opinion seriously.
We don't take a lot of Ray J seriously.
But I take Ray J seriously as this.
Oh.
As a cultural staple.
That's the soft spot.
As a cultural staple.
It's okay.
Ray J been entertaining me since I was 15 years old, bro. Movies, all different types of movies. Ray J has touched all genres. You feel what I'm saying? Music, and now sports and boxing and streaming.
That's not a sport. That's a show. That's
a
show. Performance.
Okay. Do you think you could take Ray J in a boxing ring?
Easily.
Oh.
Easily.
You think you could put hands and feet paws on Ray J?
Stamina.
Wow. I'll train you for that. We'll get you that, Phil. Shout out to Phil. Once again, we love you, Phil. We love you, Phil. We love you, Phil. We love you, Taylor. We love everything that's happening over in philosophy. Just stay on the outside, pot the jab.
Exactly. I'd be the Floyd. I would just dodge and duck and just tire him out.
Yeah, harder than it looks.
Floyd
would stay in the pocket with the shoulder. Boom,
I know it's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
I don't say that lightly.
You feel like you could take Ray J?
I do.
Bang, bang, bang.
I do.
You know who's getting good?
You.
Sean Rock.
Oh, good for her.
She's a great athlete. She putting hands and feet.
Well, she was an athlete before, so it's not shocking.
Shout out to Ray J.
Especially doing track, because that's like a mental endurance thing. So that doesn't shock me that she's.
I got a lot of joy from this. I don't know. I'm being for real. It kind of overshadowed the Clarissa Shields fight a little bit. Clarissa Shields, who is one of the best boxers of all time.
It's crazy.
Jade?
Yeah. So Stephen A. Smith is pushing back against the National Association of Black Journalists after receiving its Thumbs Down Award during the organization's annual convention in Atlanta. NABJ accused the ESPN personality of a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary about prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media, saying his remarks reinforce harmful narratives. The criticism follows several high-profile controversies involving Smith's comments about Black women, including Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, and Michelle Obama. Smith previously apologized for remarks he made about Crockett, but he did say some things online and responded to NABJ, saying, "This is the epitome of Christmas arriving early. The @NABJ wants to call folks out. Fine. You had your turn. Now mine is coming. And make no mistake, I'm coming. Let's see who really deserves a thumbs down award when it comes to the Black community after I say my piece. Remember @NABJ, you asked for it. I've shut my mouth for years. Now y'all started something." And we also have a video from Aaron Haynes, the president of NABJ.
Sure, play that video.
Let's play that, yeah.
Let's go ahead and play it.
To confront the systems and the people whose choices make your jobs harder. We are here to defend the truth. And that means telling it even when the truth makes our friends uncomfortable, especially then. So to everyone whose name was called tonight, hear this award for what I believe it should be. Not simply a thumbs down, but a call to do better. The door is open. The conversation is available and the opportunity to change is real. But NABJ will not be silent. Not in this moment and not on my watch.
Powerful.
There can be no revolution without accountability. There can be no accountability without courage. And there can be no Black journalism that is worthy of its history if we are afraid to speak truth to power. Yep.
So you know what that video tells me right there?
What?
That there was trepidation about doing this, particularly naming Stephen A. Smith, because nobody else could give a fuck less about anybody else that was named. I know there are other people that were
Well,
named.
it really wasn't. There was one individual, but it was mainly like organizations.
Right.
That's why this hit even more.
Well, there was Brendan Carr. He was an individual, and then there was the other gentleman that runs the what's his name?
Yeah, the networks.
The
and
networks,
stuff.
right? But the
Yeah.
headline
Dewan
here,
McCoy.
what's his
Yeah.
name?
Dewan McCoy.
Dewan McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The headline here was Stephen A. Smith, and even her saying, "You have to have courage," lets me know that there was a little bit of concern about naming him in this way publicly.
I mean, absolutely. Part of the criticism, majority of the criticism that they were calling out was the way that he covers, discusses, goes after Black women. And this is a Black woman who is leading this organization and who is calling him out and giving him the award. So I think that there's that. Also, Stephen A. Smith has been involved with NABJ. He's worked with them in the past. They've covered his show just as last year and the year before. And so this is something that is not being done on a podcast, not being done as an article that's being written. This is being called by it's being called out by a prestigious organization and a very respected one that honors the very profession that he is in.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It is the seat of Black journalistic power and credibility,
Yeah.
calling out maybe the most prominent Black journalist in America. Well, he's up there.
Yeah,
he's up there.
sports.
Sports journalist
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because Ta-Nehisi Coates just went, oh, what are you talking about? Yeah, but no, he's one of, if not the most forward-facing.
Right. And I think the main thing that I got from this is that in that speech that she's giving, she's like, this is an award, and it's awarded to, for various things, right? And it's a thumbs down in how they have conducted themselves in the media. And it's not a punishment as she's talking. It's more of a, we're calling you really in, but we're doing it because we want you to do better. We want you to understand what it is that you're saying. We want you to understand that it is harmful to the community, and you as a Black person are leading the charge with that and almost making it acceptable for non-Black audiences to have these certain critiques of Black women and Black public figures, politicians, all of that. This was an opportunity to me, if you truly care about what your community is saying about you, if you truly are concerned and value the journalists that are a part of the NABJ and outside of it, of the fact that they don't feel like you are representing the very community that you come from in a good way, then the response should have been like, let me hear what they have to say and let me do better. And to me, the response, Stephen A. Smith's response to this award is as much as a story as the award is. Instead of Stephen A. Smith understanding what is being said, he used it as an opportunity to continue the attack. He used it as an opportunity to make a threat. He used it as an opportunity to center himself in it all rather than really listen to what people are saying and how they are bothered by it. And they're bothered by it because Stephen A. Smith is somebody that people hold in high regard. Maybe not in the same way now, but they did. He is somebody that is respected. There's a reason that he is elevated to the level that he has as a sports journalist. And now you have a bigger platform than you've ever had before, and you're constantly using it to tear down Black women, Black politicians, and opening up the door for other people and inviting them in who aren't a part of our community to have the same opinions. And to me, I just would have loved for his response to be completely better and for him to recognize that they're calling out a pattern with you. They're saying that let's talk about it with you. And instead, your response is to threaten them with it.
His response was, this is the epitome of Christmas arriving early. The NABJ wants to call folks out. Fine. You had your turn. Now mine is coming. And make no mistake, I'm coming. Let's see who really deserves a thumbs down when it comes to the Black community after I say my piece. Remember, NABJ, you asked for it. I've shut my mouth for years. Now y'all started something. So he seems as if he's going to, he hasn't responded yet, but he's on a million shows. So that response might be forthcoming, like while we're doing this, or might even have already happened. So, okay. Can we get into what Stephen A. Smith has said specifically about Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, and Jasmine Crockett? Okay. So, he has basically said that he was a bit salty at Michelle Obama for some of the things that she was saying in regards to what did exactly Michelle Obama say? But he said that he was annoyed with her because she had said something in regards to, look that up for me, Jade. His comments about Jasmine Crockett were that he said that Jasmine Crockett is representing 750,000 people and that her beefing with Trump is not going to get him anywhere. He criticized her confrontational tone towards Republicans, calling her approach street verbiage and questioning if it actually gets results. Isn't it about winning? Is it about getting it done? Kamala Harris, he says she's done in politics. I cannot see the Democratic Party supporting her one iota moving forward. He says nobody wants to hear this now, and that's why I believe her political career is over. He was talking about, in that case, he criticized her for saying the I told you so thing. I criticized her for saying the I told you so thing. He also said that he regrets voting for Kamala Harris and felt misinformed about her candidacy. He said that, I think, on the Sage Steele show. Look up and try to see, because I have it here in this article, but look up and try to see what it was specifically that he said about Michelle Obama. Jay, you got it? Go for it.
Michelle Obama, I want to take this opportunity to remind you that while you are revered by me personally, and I truly, truly mean that with the greatest sincerity, I'm still a bit salty at you. When you were campaigning on behalf of the former Vice President Kamala Harris, who I'll get into in a minute, by the way, and you were giving a speech, I believe it was in Detroit, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. It was in the middle of the day. It was carried live. You said a vote for Trump was a vote against you and a vote against y'all as women. I want to state for the record, I took major offense to that. Black men don't just love our black women. We revere y'all. You've practically raised most of us. Think about the most hardcore individual you can find who is a black man from the streets of America. If there is one person who can walk up to him and slap him silly and get away with it, it's his mama or his grandma. It's who we are. And to say what you said back then, I think to this day is the only thing that I didn't like that you said. I didn't appreciate it. Because there's so many things that go into deciding where your vote is going to go. For some people, it's all about the economy. For others, it's all about national security. For some people, it is immigration. For some people, it's safety in the streets of America. Long before they think about pro-choice or pro-life. I'm talking about men. There's a reason why Trump got about 57% and Kamala Harris ended up with 42%, even though Biden had won the young male vote 4 years earlier. Because life changes and other issues become more pertinent to people. Now, I voted for Kamala, even though I wouldn't vote for Trump. I wasn't excited about voting for Kamala either, particularly after I heard about some of the shenanigans that the Democratic Party was engaging in leading up to the election. But I'm talking specifically to you, Madam First Lady. You are not just beloved, you are revered. You are sensational in so many ways. I've been on the record on this show and many others stating, had you run for president, you would have beat Trump. I still believe that.
So I have to admit I'm torn on this Stephen A. Smith thing.
Oh, you don't like the award?
So the award, I never knew that they had it.
I didn't either until this.
And so I looked in the past, and they have not been bashful about giving out the award to staples in the Black community. So, like, kudos. They called out BET in 2007 for promoting what they felt like were, unfair, like lowbrow images of Black people. They called BET out in 2007. I think they even did Ebony at one point, got the Thumbs Down award. So it doesn't seem like the Thumbs Down award is something that the NABJ has been precious about. So that's consistency on their part, honestly. So this is the reason why I'm torn on the award. Stephen A. Smith has been criticizing Black men for years.
So you don't think that? Okay, sorry.
No, go for it.
I know that people are saying Black women. Did she specifically only say Black women?
So
I know the story has been Black women
So
because
I'll
that's been the
read-
latest thing, but I understand what you're saying.
So it says up here, it says he received this thumbs down. This is her. He received this thumbs down, has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media, according to the remarks delivered during the ceremony. The concerns, organizers said, goes beyond a single controversial comment. Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives, undermines the fair and respectful representation of Black women in public discourse, and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's longstanding commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of Black communities.
Okay.
Right. Let me tell you why I bring up the Black man. We're not about to get into the gender war things. Let me tell you why I bring up his criticism of the Black man. He called Kwame Brown a bona fide scrub, called Jamarcus Russell a bum of a quarterback, suggested that Colin Kaepernick, that his workout request was more about seeking attention than genuinely wanting to play. Right. Draymond Green, LeBron James, LeVar Ball, all of these people, he's called them out, right? It's part of his job, actually. Part of his job being in the sports realm to call out people who are in sports, whether you agree with him or whether you disagree with him.
Mm-hmm.
He has made the decision to step out into the realm of politics.
Correct.
Right? And now that he is in the realm of politics, there's a wider berth of people that are in his wheelhouse to be talked about and potentially criticized.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those people are women, even more so in a way than there were before. I mean, ESPN has covered the WNBA, but most of the time when ESPN covers the WNBA, they have ladies covering the WNBA. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith is a WNBA expert or if he gets too involved in what happens in women's sports. He was there to do male sports, to do basketball, and really it's the only sport he really knows anything about. Basketball, football, boxing sometimes. He's into all of these sports, but he fancies himself a basketball expert. In this situation, when he's in the political space, if he has a criticism about Michelle Obama, Jasmine Crockett, or Kamala Harris, is he not supposed to voice that criticism? Is it inherently wrong to say you disagree with Kamala Harris on something, or you disagree with Jasmine Crockett on something, or you disagree with Michelle Obama on something? Now, I personally think, just to be clear and fair to everyone, that a lot of the criticisms that he's voiced, particularly the Jasmine Crockett criticisms, are more informed with Stephen A. Smith's obvious political reality, which is that he is a right-coded Black American powerful male, right? And him demanding respect from Jasmine Crockett to the president,
Mm-hmm.
or demanding that she not mention Republicans or not mention the president
Mm-hmm.
when the Republicans and the president had Jasmine Crockett in her sights, told me more about Stephen A. Smith than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Every time somebody comes at Stephen A. Smith, they get a 30-minute to 1 hour diatribe. Jasmine Crockett was doing a lot of things for the constituencies that she has there in Texas, but the media would cover her going back and forth with the Trump administration because she would not allow herself to be bullied by them. So having a problem when somebody says something when they're being attacked, that tells me a little bit more about Stephen A. Smith. However, it's interesting that he's in this realm, he's in this place where these people are talking and making news, and his criticism of them as seen as inherently negative. Now, if he were Laura Loomer and he had called, now what he taught the verbiage situation, the street verbiage thing is to me like a no-go. That is calling somebody a Shaniqua. But if he had called Michelle Obama a Shaniqua, if he had called Kamala Harris a name that's tied to her Black female identity, then I could see reinforcing negative stereotypes about prominent Black women. But it seems as if they did stuff and he didn't agree with the way that they did it. And then he talked about it. The street verbiage thing, I'll grant you that, is very illuminating. And then he discussed it, and they're saying you can't do that.
I don't think that they're saying that you can't do that. I think if he had not, because remember the Jasmine Crockett thing went on and on. That was like weeks. I think if the Jasmine Crockett thing had not happened, this probably wouldn't be here. But it was a double down, a triple down of people a lot of podcasts, us trying to explain why what he was doing was such a harmful narrative, which is what this award is about as well. It's people who are emphasizing or are pushing further, perpetuating these harmful narratives.
Well, what's the harmful narrative is what I'm asking.
Well, the way he was talking about Jasmine Crockett mirrored and even intensified Trump's comments about her. Yeah. It played into he's in one thing he said she's for the streets, like her verbiage is for the streets, or the way that she's communicating it bleeds into a certain, or not bleeds into, it highlights a certain stereotype about Black women. I would even argue that the way he talks about Kamala Harris, like how her run for presidency was obviously such a big deal, and he calls himself a fool for voting for her. He talks about like her career being over. These are like right-winged talking points, and he continues to do that with using a black woman at the center of it. Even talking about Joy Reid and saying she lost her show because her ratings were so bad. That's not true. And so like that is a right-wing conservative point of view, and he's taking that stuff. That's not what he does when he's criticizing maybe a Kaepernick, I'll give you, but that's not what he does when he's criticizing who did you name? LeBron or certain like that. It's opinionated, and you might and he's entitled to his opinion, but it doesn't further these harmful narratives that are really talking points from the other side. That's why I think that happened. But I really think if the Jasmine Crockett thing had not gone on for weeks and weeks and weeks, to which he finally apologized because it just became so bad for him, that I think that he wouldn't have received this award.
Okay, all right, when I look at some of the ways that Stephen A. Smith has talked about prominent Black men, when I looked at this, right? Scrub, bum, all of that stuff. I get it. There's a difference. Mm-hmm. There's a difference in the way you talk in sports. Mm-hmm. There's also a difference in the way you talk to Black men and the way that you should talk to Black women. I guess the question that I'm asking right now is, how do you then criticize Jasmine Crockett, who you've been critical of?
Yeah.
Right? Jasmine Crockett.
So do it like I did.
Right. Well, I mean, Rachel, so do it like I did it. Well, he's not you.
Well, no, I'm just saying that a lot of people didn't agree with what I said. I guess what I'm saying is that I don't think that I was perpetuating a harmful narrative about her.
Right.
I was having a general conversation. They weren't personal attacks to her that people think about Black women, the way they carry themselves, or how they should act in certain situations. I didn't go there with her. I talked about things in a general sense. I guess that's what I'm more so saying.
Right. If in fact I grant you that the Jasmine Crockett portion of this is a bridge too far for me, like a bridge too far for me. Street, Shaniqua, all of that stuff is lumped in together. Mm-hmm. If I grant you that, I don't know that the Kamala Harris and Michelle Obama things meet the standard.
Well, I'll give you those.
Okay, so I
think Jasmine took it over the edge.
Okay, I can get with you on that. I can understand that. I can get that. The reason why I'm saying this is because Kamala Harris is a political figure. Michelle Obama, less so. I don't really know why anyone has to really get involved in that much criticism of Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama says and does things for Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama is a cultural figure, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But she, to me, rarely enters the fray of political discourse, direct political discourse. But when she has, and she has said things that we didn't agree with, we've talked about them.
Of course.
Like, we've discussed them.
Yeah.
So I do think it's fair to say, what's the limit? Like, when does this become a sort of hero worship or diving into identity politics that chokes off actual discourse?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when do we move past, okay, we're having a conversation about how we should talk about people and to people in respect and communal understanding, to there's a group of people that you cannot talk about or discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, we're going to bust your ass in public for it.
So I think that, and I think we agree on, I think the Jasmine Crockett is probably what landed him this award.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I know you read why he got the award, but outside of that, outside of them specifically saying it's how he's talked about Black women, I think that we can agree that Stephen A. Smith has a lot of opinions that are harmful to the Black community, which is why people are constantly calling him out, that aren't specific to Black women or really even specific to Black men, just in general, in the way that he talks about President Trump. I mean, most recently he said something positive about Byron Donalds. So I think that maybe the categorization of using Black women is making you say it this way. But I think that if you removed Black women, people could understand why he would get this award, because in general, people have been very upset with him for his harmful rhetoric that feels against the Black community, period. So I can understand why you're focusing on that. But I think we'd all agree. That's why so many people are disappointed with him. Just in general, the way that he has been conducting his media platform has been harmful.
Well, is the NABJ a political organization?
No.
So then why would the NABJ care about who likes Byron Donalds or not?
No, it's not about who likes Byron Donalds. I'm just saying that what he said about Byron Donalds is something kind of positive he said. And
right.
Byron Donalds has been somebody who's been very harmful. So I'm just saying that Stephen A. Smith keeps saying and doing things that are aligning himself with people, with rhetoric, with schools of thought that are harmful to the Black community, which the long-running award is for especially insensitive, racist, or stereotypical reporting, commentary, photography, or cartooning about the Black community. That's what the award is supposed to be in general, which is why I don't know why they added Black women, because in general, that's what the award is for.
Okay. So, but what I'm saying is, though, and I just have to be honest with the audience, we have to be really, really careful about how we label things and weaponize things like this. We do. Because, like, let's say I'm going to CBC this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am drifting further and further away from being able to politically identify with the center of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, you've already gone.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is there'll be critiques. And there'll be critiques, and there'll be things that I feel like are downright wrong-headed, right? And if I get the NABJ Thumbs Down Award because I don't deliver my critiques in a way that's palatable to them, if I say, hey, like, there's a large percentage of you guys that are being funded by a genocidal organization.
Are your critiques harmful to the Black community?
But who decides that?
Well, this organization does.
Well,
but I don't think anybody would agree that overall your critiques of established moderate centrist Democrats are harmful. If anything, everything that you're pushing is because you think they're harmful. So I don't think anybody would confuse your critiques with being harmful to the community, which is what this award is for.
Take me out of it. Take me out of it. All right? It's Uncle Van here, the troublemaker. Take me out of it. Okay? What I am saying here is that while I think that Stephen A. Smith's politics are informed by this right, center, anti-black ideology. I do, with a respectability politic that I believe is anti-black. These are all differences that I feel like for the most part are within the margin. Like these are all differences that for the most part I feel like are in the margin generationally, or in the margin politically, like are in the margin, right? These are all differences that I feel like are a part of that, or are that. I feel like these differences are differences. I have these conversations with people all the time. Like you can't really say anything about some of these people. Let's take black ladies out of it, because we do understand that as men and as black men, there is a way that we need to communicate about and to our sisters, right? In love and protection. That is a fact. You're not going to hear me not say that, right? But like, even having said that, do I vote for that? Like, can I say, like Kamala Harris said that like America's not a racist country. Like, what do I do? Do I go, excuse me, Sister Harris, Queen of the universe, Mother of the earth?
But your critique again isn't rooted as being harmful to the black community.
So Jasmine Crockett's critique was harmful to the black community.
I think outside of Jasmine, just in general, as you just said, he is informed by rhetoric, narratives, whatever, talking points, opinions by anti-black sentiment.
But see, my point though is if I put myself back into it, is I think some of them are too. So I think respectability is an anti-black sentiment. Okay. So when I hear people saying that you can't wear a bonnet at your school, I go, oh, okay, well, like you can't wear a bonnet, you can't wear a do-rag. You think those things, like I feel like a lot of that stuff is anti-black. But what I'm saying is that disagreement is within the margins. When I hear a lot of people talk, like I'm not about to
You could, but is it a one-off, or is it like what you represent as
Well, according to you, the Jasmine Crockett thing was a one-off.
I'm only talking about because they put black women. In general, the award says nothing about specifics to black women, which is, I don't know why they decided to put that specifically
Because that's why they're giving it to them.
And that's why I think they're basing it off of, because remember, the Jasmine Crockett thing went on for way too long. It was a back and forth for a while. And that's why I think he apologized, because that one went further than any of the other ones did.
Well, even the apology here seems not to matter. But let me ask you a question. About this. Is it possible that, because you even said this before, what you said about Stephen A. Smith was you said that you think that a lot of his critiques and his criticisms, because of what his audience is, give his audience carte blanche to say those same things.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. So I was on here talking about things with Jasmine Crockett, right? Mm-hmm. And then Keith Edwards took those things and then put them on Threads. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't say anything that I said for Keith Edwards or for anyone else,
of course,
to take it and attack Congresswoman Crawford.
Of course.
But I have to be unencumbered in the way that I express myself, or else I'm a slave as well.
Correct.
Right. So like what I'm saying is that even that criticism of you say stuff and then you give them the right to say it, that's a tough one.
I know, but I think it's like we're arguing, or like we agree.
I'm not actually arguing. I'm trying to understand.
Debating. We're saying the same thing. Nobody is going to say that Stephen A. Smith, people think Stephen A. Smith has changed. People don't think that he represents the things that he used to before he started dabbling into politics. Of course, he was hypercritical and about specific athletes and stuff like that. But people truly believe that there has been a change and shift in him. And even somebody who worked with him from time to time, who he's been extremely helpful to, and who we've had on this show, I have seen, and maybe it's not that he hasn't always been those things, it's just that he is now more overt about those things, where it's like, wow, the things that you continue to push and stand for don't seem to be helpful to the conversation and the black community, period. That's how I feel. I'm not saying everything he does, right? Obviously, he's involved in HBCUs. Obviously, we've seen him speak out. He spoke out with Ryan Clark and stuff like that. We see there are moments where he does these things, but overall, it seems like there has been a shift in him. And we all can agree with that. That seems past being a centrist, more to the right. The way that we've seen him take up for Trump or even laugh and agree with certain things that he said when Trump is doing things that are so detrimental. The comments that he made that were favorable about Byron Daniels, somebody who calls Trump Donalds, whatever, who calls Trump daddy and constantly speaks out against things that are about the black community in such harmful ways. Everybody agrees that as a whole, there has been not everybody, I should stop saying things like that in absolutes. A lot of people agree that there's a change and are very disappointed in Stephen A. Smith. And now there's just this general consensus of that is who he is at this point. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we can take one-offs of things that might not go with whatever the majority is saying, but does it define you as a whole? Nobody's going to take one thing that you've said that might be against like our conversation about Jasmine Crockett and James Talarico. A lot of people didn't like it, but I don't think that anybody would look at us and say, oh, they just deserve a thumbs down award because they have a platform that is harmful to the black community. They have stereotypical reporting about the black community that's harmful and insensitive. Nobody would say that as a whole.
Right.
They might not agree with everything that we say. I think at this point, they are looking at, and a lot of people are looking at Stephen A. Smith as somebody whose platform is harmful to the black.
Is anti-black.
I think they would say more likely than not.
So this is what I'll say to that.
And I'm not saying that I necessarily agree with all of that wholeheartedly, but that's why he got this award.
Well, I would say this. A couple of things. Number one, I've watched Stephen A. Smith and First Take for years. There's absolutely nothing that's changed about Stephen A. Smith. When Stephen A. Smith came out and was anti-Colin Kaepernick, it was legitimately the most predictable thing that one can imagine. Stephen A. Smith has always operated with a vein of respectability. He's always been incredibly critical of cultural things that he felt like were glitches inside of the black community or with black people. When the radical brother with the fro came out and was threatening the business establishment of the NFL, it was not a surprise at all that Stephen A. Smith wasn't like that. It was actually Max at that point who was, remember T.O. goes on the show?
I remember.
T.O. goes on the show and goes, yo, bro, it feel like Max is more black than you. T.O., my man, that was a hell of a statement on live TV. And one of the only times I've ever seen Stephen A. Smith, go back and watch that clip. Watch Stephen A. Smith. And T.O. is, bro, I love T.O. Y'all can say what the fuck y'all want to say. But like T.O. says that, and T.O. is not afraid of shit. So he's like smiling, and Stephen A. Smith is mad, right?
Yeah,
like
I
Stephen
would
A.
too.
Smith is mad, right? Stephen A. Smith was in a picture with Sheriff Clark. Remember the guy? Like he was in
Who?
Sheriff Clark. The fucking goddamn boy, they be rolling these niggas in and out like crazy, like putting them in. You remember Sheriff Clark? You remember Sheriff Clark, the conservative? Like, am I saying his name right? Sheriff Clark, the conservative guy. I think he's from like Milwaukee or something like that.
David Clark?
Yeah.
I do not remember.
You don't
this
remember?
man.
You don't remember Clark? He was he's from Milwaukee. Like he was like a conservative darling. I don't know. They don't talk about Sheriff Clark anymore, right? But they were talking about him, and he was a big deal. Stephen A. Smith is in a picture with Sheriff Clark, like laughing and smiling. This is back in the day, and like then people are like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So to me, it wasn't very surprising to me at all. I think when he got into politics, I think for a lot of people, they got kind of a first row seat, if you will.
There was no denying it.
There was into like how he looks at the world, because once again, part of politics and part of your political makeup is who you choose to criticize. I completely get all of that. But I will say that he would not have gotten this award. Like, we would never get this award, right?
Right.
But we would criticize Candace Owens. We would criticize the lady from Fox. What's her name?
Harrison
Faulkner. We would criticize her. We would criticize Candace Owens. We would criticize any other prominent black woman on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And the terms that people would use to criticize them would be insanely anti-black. They would be called coons.
Mm-hmm.
They would be called sellouts. They would be called every anti-black pejorative that you can call somebody. But because the politics align with what is the political mainstream in Black America, you do not get the thumbs down award for calling them a coon. You can dehumanize them. You can call them the animal. You can do all of that stuff, right? Because they are behaving in a way that you deem to be anti-black, that we deem to be anti-black. I'm not calling that contradiction out as anything that's like actual. I understand it. I get it. People that exist in anti-blackness are seen as not black. And once you're seen as not black, the community can treat you in any way that they want to. I completely understand that and actually don't have a ton of critiques for it. But I'll say, though, if that is going to be the rule, the standard for that has to be very high.
Mm-hmm.
The standard for that has to be criticism, to me, that is outside of the margin. Criticism that is inside of it, things that might be, I don't know, marginally or even not marginally politically different. I don't know if we can allow institutions to kind of try to control speech in that way, or try to control how you can and what you should say, or else you'll be publicly shamed by the NABJ.
Well, I don't think that they were trying to control what he said. I just don't. And that's why I stand by what I was saying at the very beginning of it, and she said, a call to do better. I felt like it was a call in. It didn't feel like it was punitive to me. It felt like, hey, we're trying to get your attention and let you know this. Now, of course, there is shame and embarrassment with getting a thumbs down award from NABJ. When just the last year, that's not how you were being treated, or 2 years ago. So I understand being offended and getting defensive and all of that. But I will say, I don't think that they're trying to control it. I think they're saying, hey, and that's why she said what she said, hey, this is what we want from you. We want to do better. So let's talk. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And he ain't. He's threatening.
Well, yeah, now he's threatening.
He
and we'll
said
see.
shots fired.
And look, I hope everybody understands what it is that, you know what? Actually, I don't hope. I say what I said. It is I personally believe right now that the marketplace for ideas has to be a little bit more daring than what we think it is. And you have to be able to have people in it that you don't really fuck with that much and just contend with their ideas, go up against their ideas, engage even with their ideas when you do not like them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And sometimes you walk away feeling bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but look, at the same time, is their organization. They want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not, I would love to have her on the show so we could talk about this.
That'd be interesting.
I would love to have her on the show so we could talk about this, but I don't know. Now what happens? Now we got another saga. Now he goes, then they go, and then he go, and they go, and everything.
I don't think they'll respond to whatever he does. It depends on what he says.
I don't fuck with him politically, but I just be honest with you. I looked at everything that he said. Jasmine Crockett, he over his skis. I just couldn't find a lot of reasons that they should give him this award.
If her statement didn't say black women, would you feel the same way?
Well, her statement saying black women, the statement itself saying black women, to me, increases the threshold. Because not increases the threshold, increases the burden of proof. Because before
it became more specific.
Well, yeah, because it's like now when you say that,
you have to limit it to the certain things that he said about black women.
Well, now we have to have a conversation and a robust talk about how it is that you do that. Which black women are we talking about? Because like I said, it's definitely not all black women. Is it black women? Because I can tell you some leftist black women right now that those group of people don't give a fuck about. They couldn't care less what they think. They don't care about what people say about them, how people talk about them, like all of that stuff. Like they don't give a shit.
So do you think you would feel different if it was what the award, when I read that definition of what the award is normally given out for?
No, if the award was like the fact that, every time Stephen A. Smith is criticizing somebody, it seems to be a black person. I don't really know enough about his long running, because he also used to do it to, he would say, Slava Medvedenko. He would like, he would Slava Vrečović. He would like diss a lot of people, right? And that was the whole thing. And Jalen Rose, man, shout out Jalen Rose, wherever the fuck, man. Jalen Rose just got in their ass one time. Damn, man. Jalen voice is something crazy. Jalen Rose just got in their ass one time. Called them out to their faces. Anyway, we've gone too long on this, but I don't know. Like, I looked at this and I was like, I have a problem with it, but it does set a precedent that I feel like is a little bit shaky. But you feel like he deserved it. You like it.
I understand why it was given, is what I'm saying.
I think actually after you've talked, I think I do. I think I understand better now too. Because at first I was like, whatever. But I think that, Sheriff Rage made a great case.
Sheriff Rage.
Not Sheriff Rage. It would be. Or would you be a prosecutor or a defense attorney?
I worked in the public defender's office in Milwaukee County.
Rach, do you know who was a defender?
Who?
Daredevil.
Daredevil?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Marvel character?
Yep.
Okay.
What?
I don't know anything about him.
He's a lawyer.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I truly don't know one thing about Daredevil.
Murdoch, Nelson,
I think
and Page.
if you put up 10 Marvel characters, I don't even know if I would be able to point out which one was Daredevil.
El Daredevil. He was Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer.
A blind lawyer.
He's blind.
So Daredevil's blind.
Daredevil's blind.
Even when he's a superhero.
Even when he's a superhero.
Interesting.
Daredevil, when he was I think 13, got hit with a vat of chemicals. And the chemicals took his sight, but they gave him enhancements. So Daredevil has a very sophisticated sonar system, okay? And his hearing, all of his senses enhanced. So he hears it. He can actually make a version of the world through the sonar. He can kind of see sight without sight.
Who plays Daredevil?
So it's Charlie Gibson and Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox in a Daredevil show, Daredevil Born Again. But then it's Ben Affleck in a Daredevil movie. The Daredevil cannot see. That doesn't stop him from getting with the ladies.
Okay.
He's a hot, sexy man.
What's the next topic?
Okay. He gets with the ladies, Daredevil does. And he was trained by another blind guy named Stick. And Stick trained Daredevil in this brutal training since he was a kid. His dad died. His dad was a boxer. And Stick trained Daredevil since he was a kid. So Daredevil has all of the martial arts skills, bang, bang, bang. He's the Billy Club. And he also has this enhanced senses that allow him to, like Daredevil, if you're lying, he can hear your heart's beating too fast.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What's next?
But one more thing. In the Infinity War, this might have been actually in the Infinity Gauntlet, there were these characters called doppelgangers.
Okay.
So there were doppelgangers of all the Marvel characters. And so some of the doppelgangers look crazy. Like Spider-Man's doppelganger had 8 arms. But he was wearing a Spider-Man suit, which was interesting to me because he was an 8-armed spider creature, but that had a suit on. So it's I was thinking to myself at that point, did somebody make a costume for him that had 8 arms? Because
yes.
I guess they would have had to, right? Magic, space magic. So one time Daredevil was in a room, because not all of the doppelgangers, you could tell that it was a different person. Sometimes it was just this Rachel's doppelganger. Look, we don't know it's Rachel. It's not like Rachel, because the way your doppelganger would work in the 8 arms thing is, what if there was a Rachel that had fangs and a big ass forehead? That would be your doppelganger.
Okay.
Or it was me, it was a doppelganger that had big ass titties and cried all the time. That would be my doppelganger, right? Crying titty man. Daredevil, Wolverine in the room, and there's a doppelganger in the room, but it's one of the regular ones, so you can't tell. I can't remember the character that was a doppelganger of. Wolverine comes into the room, and Wolverine goes, and then takes his claw and puts it through the doppelganger. And everybody's like, Wolverine, what are you doing? And he's like, don't smell right, bub. Because he smelled that it wasn't the right character. And then they wrote something. Well, Daredevil is like, he's questioning himself. He was like, is Wolverine's crude smell test more cute than my own senses? Because Daredevil, with all of his enhanced senses, couldn't tell that that wasn't the actual character. And Wolverine smelt it. And you know what they say about
that's his weak spot.
Who?
Daredevil.
What you mean?
That sense is
Nah,
maybe
his
a
weak
little
spot
off.
is the ladies, baby.
Okay. Thank you for that.
I think people didn't like it. I can tell that they're going to be like, Van went too crazy in comic books and stuff like that.
Well, you got one more thing that you've already.
Oh, man. Man, shout out to Earn Your Leisure, man. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. And I'm going to say this before I get started. I'm going to say this before I get started, man. I've said this about Earn Your Leisure in the past, and I'll say it about Earn Your Leisure now. I've told this to them, tell this to anybody. Very few podcasts leave you with something that you can use to enrich your life. Most of this podcasting that we do is for entertainment. Even though we care about you and give you all of this information and try to tell you about the conditions of your world, they'll give you 6 stocks that'll make you more money. Or they'll give you financial literacy, which is very important. It's insanely important to have financial literacy because your finances can also be a prison. Like your tax burden can be a prison. Like other debt that you have can be a prison. And they would always give you financial literacy. And I say then and I say now that Earn Your Leisure and the movement of financial literacy for Black people is insanely important.
Of course.
And I give them props for being a part of that movement, which is why what we're about to watch was very confusing for me. Now, Blackout is a podcast that they have that's with Ian and Rashad. This is In Love. I talked to Ian before I came in here. I have not talked to Rashad. But I saw Rashad down at InvestFest, which I personally thought was a phenomenal event. A lot of people had all kinds of criticisms and stuff like that. I ain't seen it. Had a lot of fun. Me, Vic Mensa, Deontay Kyle, like FD Signifier, we met up with him later. It's down at InvestFest with the people, all that stuff. But they on Blackout this past week, I didn't see it until just recently. They had a little conversation about myself on there and something that I said at InvestFest that some people might have seen. So we're going to play Ian and Rashad in its entirety. It's like 6 minutes long, guys. So like get cozy. And then I'm going to come out and I'm going to defend myself against the attacks. Fucking around. Play the first one.
Some stock club. So get in now because after this, price will definitely be going up.
IanInvest.com. Okay, let's show this clip from Van Lathan. Can we?
My financial hot take is I love InvestFest. I love everything that's going on here. My financial hot take is that capitalism will not save you. It won't. Making more money is not going to be the thing that brings you freedom.
So what's going to save us?
What's going to save us is an understanding that our humanity is worth building systems that protect it. So like what saves you, same thing that's going to save us and same thing that built us is community, sharing, understanding. But unfortunately, it's not going to be making more money.
Okay, shout out to Van. That was from InvestFest. Revolt. Thank you to Revolt for being there. And they talked to a bunch of different people and got. But that was one. I think that might have got the most views out of all the Revolt clips. Ironically enough, the one clip that's talking anti-investing is the one that goes viral. That's people just like to just go against the grain. But I'll say this:
it's a smart media strategy, though. Can you talk about why being a contrarian in an event like that is also a way to get people to engage. Because I can see Van's brain turning. Like I love Van, that's my guy. But he had a Rolex on. It's a capitalistic watch.
Yeah, I mean, no,
Dr. Umar watch.
Whenever you go against the grain, like if I'm in a health conference and I'm talking about, hey, look, you only live once, you know, we might as well just eat as much fast food as we possibly can, and not give a rationale why, you know, it's interesting. It's like goes against the norm. So of course that's gonna, you know, but look, Van is somebody that's a super dope guy. Shout out to him. Came to InvestFest, flew from LA. Super gracious with his time, came on Blackout, smart guy. So first of all, I just want to thank him for coming to InvestFest because he was on a panel with 19 Keys and Vic Mensa. That was really dope.
Great panel.
Now, having said that, Black people are the only people that are told money doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Black people are at the lowest economic spectrum in America. So the people at the lowest economic spectrum are the only people that have gotten told forever and apparently are still getting told money's not the answer, money's not going to save you, money is not, capitalism is not. We're in a capitalistic society. My thing is this, what's the solution? If money's not the answer, then what is the answer? Because we tried everything else. So even when you say like community, well, they go hand in hand because there is no community without economic development. This goes back to ancient Africa. You're talking about Kemet. These people had economic systems in place way before the Europeans did. Mansa Musa, the richest person in human history, the economic systems way before. Even if you bring it up to modern times, you're talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. That was based on an economic system and economic governance. You're talking about the Black Panther Party. You're talking about the Nation of Islam. You're talking about anything that had certain level of governance with Black people. The underlying tone of it was an economic empowerment. So, man, it's such a dangerous message to send to Black people, once again, who at the lowest level of the economic spectrum, who's just starting to come out the dark ages, to say, we need community. You can't have a community without money. I don't understand how people don't understand that.
Okay.
That's just one clip, though.
It's one clip. Jay, run the next one.
How? That means that you're going to be renting. They're going to be raising your prices. Yeah. The landlord's going to come kick you out. Gentrification is going to happen. You don't have no control over your stores. People's going to disrespect you when you come in. They're going to sell bad food to you, do whatever they want to you. You have no banking, so you can't get a loan. You can't put your kid through school. You can't buy a car, buy a home. You can't start a business because they won't lend to you. You don't have enough money to actually eat properly, to not be stressed out, to stop young people from committing gang violence because they don't have any other alternative to do. It all comes down to money. So to say economic is not going to help us, it's not going to save us, capitalism is not going to save us, money's not going to save us, money's not the answer, community. There's no community without money. There's no community without money. If you live in a capitalist, unless you're going to go in the middle of the Amazon rainforest and live off the land, really live off the land. If you living in America, or if you living in Europe, or if you living in Africa, or if you living in Asia, if you living in any modern 2026 society, you need money to survive and you need money to build community. So yes, of course, we do need community 100%. That's obvious.
For sure.
But
it takes money to build that.
It takes a money to build a community, to keep a community, and to govern a community. Okay, what's your take?
And often, if you want to know the answer, look at the actions of your enemies. If money was important, we wouldn't have been the first commodity traded on the stock market. They wouldn't have bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like, I think people forget how atrocious that was for them to light an American city on fire with government funds. You wouldn't have redlining, which is an act of economic terrorism. If the money part didn't matter, they wouldn't put such a concerted effort on taking money from us in our communities every time that we build. That's why when there's a pushback against Afrotech, a pushback against DEI, a pushback about InvestFest, it's the same plan to stop the economic empowerment of us. So should money be your God? No. But for anyone who's built community or has taken care of their family members, paying for food, housing, healthcare, it costs a lot in any society. And even if for those you trying to do the remote living and you want to build, there are certain hurdles they're putting in place to make that even illegal, because where are you going to get your power from? It's tough. So is money your God? No. But does it take money to build community and give freedom? Absolutely. 1,000%. Van, I would love for you to come on next week and we can talk more. But I mean, people did notice that you had a Rolex, which is a capitalist company, while you giving your take, my brother. So
that is what I call a good faith criticism. Now, let me tell you guys something right now. This is not a Rolex. This watch is a Tissot, and it was gifted to me. This is not a Rolex. This watch costs about $500, okay? Which, from where I came from in South Baton Rouge, might as well be a fucking Rolex. In 96, 97, 98, it would have been one. But this watch is a watch that you buy when you don't care about people having thoughts about how expensive your watch is, but you want something that's going to last a little bit longer.
It's a practical watch.
It's a practical watch, right? And let me tell you why it's so interesting that this watch isn't a Rolex. But my brothers and a lot of the people in the comments thought that it was. It's because they were looking for a contradiction to something that I never said.
I was going to say.
So I have never in life said that you didn't need money.
Yeah. Okay.
I have never said that you didn't need money.
Right.
As a matter of fact.
That doesn't even make sense.
As a matter of fact, we have talked about at great length on this podcast the wealth gap. Now, why would you have a conversation about the wealth gap between black people and their white counterparts, if money did not matter? What I said, and what is true, is that money will not save you. Capitalism will not save you. The interesting thing about the clip is that Rashad then goes on to, Ian then goes on to describe all of the glitches and the profound contradictions in the closed system of American racial capitalism.
In the end, he does.
He describes how we were the first thing ever sold on the stock exchange. He describes how Tulsa and other economic attempts at Black Americans to improve their lot in this country were battered by the closed system of American racial capitalism. He then goes on to say later on that everything that you want that sustains you as a human being, healthcare, your food, your housing, you all got to have money for that. Got to have money for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
What I am trying to tell people is what I believe is that your dignity as a human being, your ability to exist, to see the doctor when you're sick, to eat food that is nutritious, to have American happiness, I don't believe that that should be determined by how much they can extract out of you. I don't believe that human beings are commodities. And what the capitalist system that we are in right now seeks to do is to commodify your existence to where you have to pay to lease your dignity. I don't believe in that. Also, something else. I was not being a contrarian. I was asked for a hot take. She asked me for a hot take. She asked me for a hot take. I wasn't there to be, what's your hot take? Well, you have a social democrat at the least, a socialist at the most, at your situation. And I'm going to tell you that all of the things that you can do to try to participate in a system that was made explicitly to exclude you are not ever going to bully your way into that system. There's always going to be rich black people. Always. There's always going to be rich black people. And I hope that there are more black people who are well-resourced. But I can tell you something right now, that not just for black people, but for people in general, they are looking around at this system of American capitalism that we have been taught to believe in, and they're seeing that they are increasingly the fucking flunkies of it. They are the ones that have to be economically enslaved. They are the ones that have to eat the gruel. They are the ones that have to go broke because they got cancer. They are the ones that are expected to negotiate the higher prices. You want to go to school? A lifetime of debt, right? You want to go to the doctor? Maybe the insurance company lets you, but if not, tremendous crazy debt. You want to eat food? We control the price. We want to get more out of you? We raise the prices. God's got $1 trillion. Homeless people everywhere. Housing prices going crazy. You can't afford to live in these places, and they want you to believe in this system. It doesn't make any sense. You absolutely need money, but community is vastly more important than money, because community is the thing that sustains a group of people when there is no money. Community is the thing that let Gloria or Cynthia or Miss Linda, community is the thing that let them say, hey, can we go fishing with y'all? When we had to dig for worms, then go out to Ramey and catch our fucking dinner out of the goddamn bayou. Community was the thing that made us, people who didn't have enough fish, bust it up with them. Community undergirds you when money isn't there. Community and belief in each other is the only religion that can sustain humanity. The belief that you and me should exist in this place together as peers and as equals, and that your dignity is tied to my dignity. My ascension is tied to yours. My fucking children are dumb if yours are dumb. If my children are starving, your children are starving, because children deserve to be educated and fed. That is what community does. And more even than destroying our belief in making more money, they've destroyed our belief that these things are things that we deserve. That these things are factors of a divine dignity, aspects of a divine dignity that comes from some place that can't be created at the Fed. And when you start asking different questions, perhaps you'll get different answers. But this American racialized capitalism that has existed to replace the bondage that your ancestors went through hundreds of years ago with a new type of bondage, it's bullshit. And that don't mean that them two brothers not important.
Sure.
It don't mean that what they saying isn't true. It is true. Because if you don't understand money, if you don't understand economics, that's the quickest way for it to become another master.
Yeah.
But the second quickest way for it to become another master, maybe the quickest, is for you to believe that it's one. And it's not. I want to play something right now. Earlier in what he was talking about, Rashad mentioned the Black Panthers and their economic views and how it was undergirded by economics. He mentioned the Black Panthers. So I want you guys to hear from Bobby Seale. And I think this is a video we should have played a long time ago. I want you guys to hear from Bobby Seale. Play that video for me.
Best conscious race in the world is active involvement. Because I was looking at state-controlled socialism. The totalitarian, they take away the basic democratic rights of the people. You see what I mean? Dealing with, now, corporate monopoly, avaricious, racist capitalism. I'm rejecting both of these extremes. I'm going for the grassroots evolvement of community control. This was the true synthesis. He don't know it. No, because you are not going to come here to me, running down here, then infested your thinking with too many existing footnotes on Marxist-Leninism, you know, with some linearistic bullshit that's too European for me. Because I'm trying to integrate the interconnected wholeness, the interconnected relationship of everything, which is much more African, which is much more Native American.
That clip resonates with me because that clip is talking about who we are as people and human beings. I also saw John Hope Bryant talk about this clip. The clip went viral. And once again, John Hope Bryant in the clip, John Hope Bryant, I have a lot of respect for. Once again, in the clip, people are responding to things that I didn't say. Say anything about needing money. I talked about what will get us to a point to where we can live better lives.
Free, you said.
Free lives. Free lives. What will free you? What will get you free? And what will get you free to me is envisioning an economic and social system beyond this one. I'm going to throw you guys a bone. Capitalism was very important for increasing productivity in the world. It was very important for increasing the life expectancy or the overall standard of living here. But I can tell you one thing right now is we're reaching a critical mass with it where it's not doing either one of those things. Well, right now, we are experiencing almost third world country-like infant mortality, where our health outcomes are putrid, to where we're dealing with things as a result of the exploitive capitalism that we're living with that other countries are just simply not going through. And also to where people are just generally unhappy with their state and lot in life, to where they look around and go, hey, you know what? There's just not here, a lot of stuff here to sustain me. Nobody gives a fuck if I got a cough or not. Nobody gives a fuck if I can read or not. It's not working. And people are hip to it. So we might as well have conversations right now about the realities of capitalism, right? The realities of systems that are in place and have been in place and really don't give a fuck about who you are as a person or what it is that your life has to offer. I'll leave with this. Peniel Joseph I talked to yesterday. Peniel Joseph said, you need money, but you need money in service of human dignity.
That's it.
He's smarter than me. Therefore, he said it better. Therefore, he said it better. But once again, this, to my brothers and to all of my friends who, by the way, we disagree on a lot less than they think that we do. I talked to Ian before we came here. This is not a Rolex. It's not. But it's important for all of you guys to be able to recognize things for what they are when you see them. And even if it was a Rolex, nigga, I deserve to be fly too. Fuck it.
Well, it didn't matter if it was a Rolex because what they said, you didn't say. So, and I like when I watched it the first time, I was kind of like, how is this taking on a life of its own? I thought it was very simple. I mean, we talked about capitalism last time. Capitalism, it's a system that works against us. If you buy into the system and praise it, it'll hold you captive. I thought that was, and you need money. And when you get that money, it's important that you invest it into the community. You need to understand money. You need to grow your money. Yes, you have to do that within a capitalistic system because that's what we have. But once you do, you don't leave it. You don't abandon it. I felt like you pour into it, and pouring into the community and the things that we care about, and it grows the community, it nourishes the community. That ultimately, if we commit to the community, will give you the freedom that you're so desiring. The system's never going to give that to you because it was never meant to give it to you. I thought it was I thought it was self-explanatory.
Capitalism is belief in money. Community is belief in people.
Yeah, they work against each other.
And but I'll say this: they don't have to though. But like actually, capitalism does have to. Capitalism is an anti-human. But like, I'll say this real quick about like what the glitch in what I've been saying is. Lesson from my father. Promise I'll be concise. We're at the baseball field, and I might have told this story before. I keep flipping my glove. So I would flip my glove. I would stand there, and when the ball would come, I would flip my glove. I flip my glove. I will flip my glove. And Dad is like, stop doing that. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop doing it. And then he would hit the ball at me and I would flip my glove. I would flip the glove over. I would flip it over. I would flip it over. I would do like this grandiose thing, boom, boom, boom. And then I would flip the glove. He said, take the glove, scoop the ball up. If you're not seeing what I'm doing, if you're not watching on video, you're missing out. And then he just started doing something else. He just started taking that bat and whipping ground balls at me and moving me around the infield. First, I played first base. First, he was just, hitting the ball to me at first base. But that wasn't good enough because he couldn't get a good pull on it, right? So he moves me over to short and just starts bombing ground balls at me. And I'm starting to eat them up. I'm starting to boom, boom, boom. The balls are coming fast. He got a bucket with about 80 or 90 baseballs in it. And I remember I get sick of it, and I'm like, you want me to be perfect. And he said, when you listen to somebody, don't hear in shame. Hear in words. He's like, you're hearing a challenge. He's like, I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to do it right. Nobody said be perfect. Nobody said never miss a ground ball. Nobody said never boot one. Never make a terrible play. Do it right. So when you're listening to somebody, don't hear the challenge. Hear the words. I am somebody who most of the time says what I mean. And what I mean is not that you don't need money. Not that money isn't important in a society where everything is based on money. But that money will not save you. Because if it was going to save you, it has saved you already. If it was going to save those people in Tulsa, it would have saved them. If it was going to save anybody else around the world that bought a bunch of land around this country and thought that they had bought their way into this American dream, it would have saved them already. If it was going to save communities, it would have already happened. But what that money did was say, you know what? We don't mind when you spend it, but when you have it, we don't like that. Because that system is closed. Mm-hmm. And we need a new one. Okay, that's enough. I'll be on the Blackout Wednesday, by the way. Me and Ian talked about it.
Oh, the tour's back. The podcast tour's still up.
Oh, I got a couple more pods going, man. Me and Vic Mensa still hasn't dropped. Me and Vic Mensa went on the shop.
Oh, y'all went together, okay.
Well, me and Vic have just been, man, shout out to Vic Mensa. Me and Vic have just been put together.
Like, yeah, you're on the panel together.
A panel together at InvestFest, which, by the way, that's community. Mm-hmm. That's community. That's me going down there and supporting InvestFest. Love InvestFest. Well, InvestFest was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I got a couple more places. You think that is too much? You think that I'm overexposed?
I think it's great.
You think it's too much, Jay?
Absolutely not.
Look at the conversation that surrounded you going. I mean, that's not a podcast, but
you big popping right now.
Now you going, yeah. We like to see you out and about.
Yeah,
okay,
it's nice.
Let me know. I might chill.
You gonna bring up the code switching? You already did it on the shop. You already filmed it.
The shop been gone.
Okay.
I don't think. What do people say about the code switching? What have people been saying? Have you been keeping up with what people say in the podcast comments?
I'm not on the Reddit.
Like yeah, it's tough. The Reddit.
I'm not on the Reddit, but they did like the whiteboard.
They did.
So we're gonna do some more celebrity matchmaker stuff. We're gonna do some more. People wanted us to do Nicole Kidman.
I'm not interested in that.
Get a Nicole Kidman.
She got a man.
Does she?
Yeah, she's like dating and some like.
Who else could we do?
I gotta think about it.
Okay,
let's do a guy.
Let's do a guy. Let's do a guy. Let's do who?
We could do Michael B. Jordan.
I don't know about that one.
Okay.
I don't want to do no niggas that I know and disrespect them. Then
okay.
You come out there.
I'm just thinking of a popular. We could do Aaron Pierre. No, we don't know anything about him. I already said.
No, let's do Aaron Pierre.
No, he's a mystery. We don't know anything about him really personally.
What do you mean he's a mystery?
I said that the last podcast.
But what kind of mystery?
I don't know. That's part of the mystery.
What's mysterious? What are you trying to say?
You know what you're doing? You're doing some you're not listening to what I'm saying. Full circle. Mm-hmm.
Full circle. Full circle. Those are great guys. Support them in everything that they do. I'm not even joking. There's no beef with them niggas. Them niggas been putting on for a long time. I'm going to keip saying it. Van, why do you keep saying it? I'm going to keep saying it. Fuck with Earn Your Leisure. Fuck with Blackout. Fuck with everything that they got going on. Take your thing caps off. Do not stop learning. I'm Van Lathan Jr.
I'm Rachel Lindsay. Bye, guys.